drink here.
Is it working?
We're going to tell you. Heck yeah, it's working. Right. It pops up there in a second.
Okay.
Give it a second. Hey, everybody. Welcome to somebody put on our YouTube channel, and whoever it is, I hope they type up their name because I like Tackle Shop Confessionals. Do you like that name?
Sounds as good as anything else we've heard.
Come on. Give this guy some accolades. I love it.
Who was it?
I forget. I got to go back and look it up again.
I'll give us some accolades.
Hey, it's great to be with you all. This is a new store that we're going to be doing here. It looks pretty good, right?
There you go.
This is a new, did I say new store? This is a new show that we're doing here. Who knows? There's probably going to be people banging on the door behind us. The phone's going to ring. But we're here at the tackle store, Island Fishing Tackle in Carson, California, with none other than Sam de La Torre. Sam, it's good to be with you.
Yeah, same here, Phil. This is kind of a new thing we're trying out. I mean, hopefully guys are able to send us some questions and, get us going on this. I mean, that's kind of like we didn't really have a concrete, structure for this. We wanted to make it.
What are you talking about? I've planned this out for months. Yeah. Don't tell these people that.
Yesterday he came in, he had this idea. Yeah. Well, actually, we've been talking about it for a while, actually.
Kind of,
but we didn't ever schedule anything.
Oh.
But
and I said to Sam yesterday, I said, when are we going to start? And Sam said, tomorrow. And I go, we're on. We got a new show. And
he wasn't going to let me back out. No. As soon as I said it, a nanosecond after, he's like, all right, we're on.
Every Wednesday for the rest of your life is mine now. You're in trouble now. So the idea of this is we're going to talk about what's biting. We've got some breaking information for you. But we're in a tackle store. So you can ask Sam anything about tackle. He can run and get it and show it to you and demonstrate how to rig it. And I mean, that's kind of the idea, right?
Yeah. I mean, obviously some limitations. If I don't have something ready, it might take a minute or two to kind of get the supplies or something like that. But we'll definitely do our best to try to address the question, so that it's still engaging for you guys and make it so that you guys can learn something. But that's kind of what we wanted to do, is to be able to have access to all the tackle for when somebody asks the tackle question. When we do the show at the studio, sometimes it's kind of hard to really talk about so many different things because I can't take tackle there, so it's just kind of, we're trying this so we can have access to the tackle.
Yeah, absolutely. So I saw some comments, they went away, but Dan Smith was up there a second ago and he was saying hello to everybody. And then I see Brett Ender, and Brett's a great guy. His dad and his brother fished with us. Super awesome guys. And of course, they're saying it's a good idea, and I know you're having some trouble here, right?
I'm trying to figure out how to do this.
There it is, Christopher Martinez.
I'm going to do my phone.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I think so.
Christopher Martinez, new show name, Getting Spooled Up.
That's not bad.
That's a good one, man. I like that. I'll tell you. So there's a lot of good names here. Sam, there's some pretty good fishing. Now, pretty much, let's see, another hour or so. The Pride is taking off out of 22nd Street Landing in San Pedro. They went 2 for 4 on the white sea bass on their last trip. They made squid, and they caught a lot of halibut. Halibut is definitely a thing during this time of the year. In fact, I'd like to catch one tomorrow morning on the morning briefing. I'm going to be throwing an iron down there during the show a little bit. But what do you think? Fishing halibut, springtime, that just seems to go hand in hand.
Pretty much. We get the grunting runs. We get, kind of some new bait in our area start showing up. And so I don't know if it's something that has to do more with their spawning cycle or something like that, but definitely springtime and halibut is kind of going hand in hand.
Yeah, definitely. Chuck Jimmer says, Sam, teach Phil how to tie the Carolina rig. What do you think? I don't know how to tie that. I'm going to put him to work. He's talking about our April 15th day at Santa Ana River Lakes. That should be a lot of fun. Yeah. And Chuck, I thought you wanted me to film. Dan Smith says, hey, Sam, I could drop off some reels so Phil can go through them while you talk. Got to keep Phil busy and out of trouble. Yeah, he's right?
Yeah,
that Scott Bucher just drives it, takes me down the primrose path all the time. So what do we have here in front of us while we're looking at this? And then I'll look at the comments and keep that going.
So kind of just wanted to go through some things that we sold at the show. Guys were buying a lot of. I mean, we sold a lot of everything. It was, kind of want to maybe step back a little, just kind of appreciate Bart Hall and, for putting on a good show.
Heck,
it was really, really good. Obviously, the PCS show was good as well. Bill DePriest, put on probably one of the biggest shows we've ever had in Southern California. So that was obviously awesome. I know everybody had a great time with that. But guys always ask you, after the shows is, well, what'd you sell? What was the hot deal? And sometimes it's not so much a matter of it being a discount, because we did sell some stuff. We sold a lot of fluorocarbon. It was discounted, but nothing new with fluorocarbon. It was just guys were buying it to stock up for the season.
Yeah.
But some of the things I have up here were things that we sold a lot of. Not necessarily anything revolutionary, but definitely things that I saw come through the register quite a bit. One of the things a lot of that we saw was treble hooks, heavy duty treble hooks, and back before bluefin, a treble hook was something that maybe we used freshwater for trout. Maybe if you were going to buy some treble hooks for a trap hook rig for your
halibut fishing or something, yeah.
Maybe replace some hooks on your jigs, things like that, but really didn't carry too many treble hooks. Now, with bluefin, we got all kinds, and this is just a small sampling here of treble hooks. The owners have been the kind of where we first started, and these guys sell really well. They've been around for a long time. The BKK hooks here are kind of newcomer to our Southern California market. They've been making hooks for a lot of years. OEM hooks, meaning that the jigs already come with them, the lures already come with them, but they're now selling the hooks separately. And so we're selling these Raptors and these GT Rexes. These are kind of like the super heavy duty ones. And then Mustad, which makes obviously a ton of hooks. They just released. In fact, I just opened up the box here. We just got them in today.
Oh, really?
Yeah, these are their new jaw lock hooks that they have, and that's kind of replacing a hook that they had before already, and just kind of improving it a little bit and actually offering it a little bit better price. So, treble hooks, which is normally not a big topic of conversation, we sold a ton of those. On the other spectrum, these micro jigs. At first, they came out. And there's a lot of companies who make them. We only just started carrying them.
Yeah.
But, man, it's like the hottest inshore jig, So just how we were kind of resistant to butterfly jigs and things like that when it first came out, I was kind of resistant to this too. I was like, man, I don't know, another jig. We already got enough stuff, plastics and hookup baits, a lot of things that already work real well. Well, I mean, the market twisted my arm, and I guess this stuff just works that good. So
for what? For what species?
For spotties, for calico, sand bass, stuff inside the harbor. I mean, you'll catch mackerel, you'll catch tomcod and things like that.
I wonder, like yellowfin croaker in the surf. I'm sure that would work, right?
I'm sure they would, yeah. In fact, I know some guys have told me that they've used these and they've caught those in the surf pretty well. But this is a new one from Mustad, kind of hard to pronounce here, Mezashi jigs. From Japan, so this is kind of a cool jig that they've got going on.
Yeah.
But previous to that, we were carrying. This is the only brand we were carrying. This was the Submission Fishing jig. Then they have them all the way from 10 ounce. Sorry, not 10 ounce, 10 gram, all the way up to like about a 20 gram, which is kind of like your inshore sizes. But that's one that we sold a lot of. I mean, guys were buying them 10, 12 at a time.
Yeah.
I guess you lose them a lot too because they got a couple hooks on them and you're fishing in structure, but they work that well. Yeah. So we sold a lot of them.
Got a question, okay? And you may have to run off. I don't know if you're going to want to do that or not. Chuck Zimmer, what are the differences between the new and the old Fathoms?
So depends on the size.
Yeah.
I mean, overall, as far as the family difference, let me go grab a.
Yeah, go ahead. And while Sam's over there, I'll remind you all. We'll be on the air tomorrow morning with the morning briefing. Tomorrow is a grunion run on Southern California beaches. That'll go from the 6th through the 9th, and I will be down there looking for the grunion, trying to film them for you. You can't take them, though. It's observation only right now. And then April the 13th, we'll be over at the Redondo Beach Rod and Gun Club. Chuck Zimmer is the president, and Bill Wilkerson will be there also giving a presentation about his new boat, the Horizon. Right before that, however, starting at 6 o'clock, Danny Cadota's show will be on the air. So that is April the 13th. And then we've referenced it for all of you, but April the 15th, tax day, we're going to be out at Santa Ana River Lakes. And from 8 in the morning until 2 in the afternoon, we have a great kids trout fishing expo, knot tying, how to catch trout, all kinds of great stuff. We've got a great raffle. Speaking of Fathom reels, we've got a Fathom reel in the raffle, custom rods. It's going to be fantastic. And if you buy a raffle ticket, $10, you're in the raffle, but you also get lunch. So those guys at the Redondo Beach Rod and Gun Club make sure you are well fed, and I'm sure they're going to do that again. So absolutely going to be a lot of fun, and it's going to be great, and I know you're going to enjoy it. I hope you can make it out there. Once again, that is always a lot of fun. Man, now this is see, I like this idea already because look at all the reels you've got. You can go through this for Chuck and everybody watching. Here you go.
All right, guys. So obviously the first, change that you see is cosmetically. They're a different color. So, the old ones are the black and gold, and the new ones are the silver and black color.
So that makes it easy, at least.
That's easy. Yeah. Sometimes you get to where it's a new model and it's so slight that you can't even hardly tell them apart.
Right.
In this case, they're totally different as far as how they look. So
Yes.
Black and gold, and the silver and black here. So that's an easy one as far as cosmetics. But that's probably not what he's asking.
Right. No, I'm sure he's not.
Yeah. So probably the first biggest difference, I would say, between the old ones and the new ones is that they've offered a lot of new sizes. Whereas before, this is the 40. There was also a wider version of that. It was called the 60, but essentially the same diameter, but a little wider, a little more line capacity. That was as big as they went. So now they've got them up to this guy here, which is a 60. This is the new 60 narrows. This is a taller reel, as you can see, taller than the older reels there. And they have a wider version of that. So that's the 80. So they've offered a larger diameter size. Also, too, in the small diameter, which was before the 15, they offer a narrow version of that, which is now the 10. So that's also a new size here, is 10 extra narrow. So they've added sizes on both ends, on the small side and on the big side.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that's an obvious change and pretty cool. In line also, too, with the 40 size specifically, they changed the gear ratio. So they put in a higher high gear ratio and a lower low gear ratio, whereas this one here is a 5-to-1 high gear, 2.5-to-1 low gear, which was really good. I mean, that was probably, I always tell people, guys are coming into the shop and they're like, okay, I want a reel to catch tuna, right? Everybody wants to catch a big tuna.
Yeah.
And we show them this reel and they're, is this thing big enough, And they say, well, definitely, you want to have a range of reels, from something like this size to this size, maybe an international or something like that, because you never know those big bruisers come through. But I would say that this Fathom 40 was probably caught more bluefin over 100 pounds than any other reel on the market.
Wow.
First of all, because it's affordable.
Yeah, so more people are purchasing
more people are buying it.
Yeah.
It also is a reel that a lot of the landings use for the rentals.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
It's in more hands.
Yeah.
So more guys are using them. So, and they hold up really well. They really developed a great reputation for being a great value reel. Not only a good price, but just something that performs really well.
And dependable.
Dependable,
Yeah.
right. And obviously they wouldn't use them for the rentals.
Yeah, right.
If they didn't, because they would just be losing money. They'd have to be buying reels all the time.
Yeah, right.
So this size 40 is one. And the new gear ratios on it is going to be a 6-to-1 high and I think a 1.9 low gear, which doesn't sound like a lot of difference, but when you're trying to fight a big fish, if you have a little bit lower gear, you are going to have more torque, so you're going to be able to really land a fish faster. And the higher gear is going to let you, jig a little bit faster too.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool. So that's the basic difference. Everything else is pretty in line. These are the two, the 30s, the old and the new. Gear ratios are pretty much the same. In fact, they're exactly the same. I would probably venture to say that the gears, the parts are probably very, very similar.
Yeah.
I know that this is now a one-piece frame versus a two-piece frame where it has a centerpiece and two side plates. This has a one-piece frame plus the side plate, so they've made that change to, I'm sure, make it more rigid.
Yeah.
And so that adds to that. And also the handles. If you guys can see here, the old and the new handles. This one on this side was the handle that was, or the knob that was offered on all the models, no matter the size. And now on the new ones, this is the knob. It's kind of perfect for the middle size to maybe larger size. In my opinion, this one's a little bit big for the smallest one. I think with some hardware, you can probably change this out to the old style, if you wanted to. Although some guys still like the big knob for even the small reel.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's pretty much it.
Great explanation.
I'm sure there's a few little parts here and there that are different. I know some guys comment on some of the drag lever pieces are a little different in material, but nothing that I really see as a performance difference to where you're going to notice something that's going to work better or worse. It might be a different material, but it'll work the same.
See, this was a good idea, man. I'm telling you, we got all this stuff at our disposal. Chuck, I hope that answered your great question. Steve Bermudez is a good guy.
Yes.
A little bit of a pain. Oh, you know him?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. He wants us to take these out of the package and show them.
Sure.
Oh,
Sure.
okay.
No
I didn't
problem.
want. If you take them out of the package, you can't sell them, and I can use them yellowfin croaker
You
fishing
can,
tomorrow
yes,
morning.
Yes. Is this the color?
Yeah.
Is this the color you want?
Yeah, that'll work.
Okay.
I'll try that. I'm going to toss that baby tomorrow and see what happens.
I agree, though, Steve.
But we should take this out, too, and then I got both of them.
Yeah.
Steve, you got my text.
Got your jigs.
Yeah, you got my text. What are you talking about?
But yeah, these things are baby small. Show them that one while I take this guy out.
And now, Steve, don't ask me to do a dance or something with it, okay?
No tassels.
Yeah, really. All right, there's that, Steve, and everybody else.
Well, it's a good thing we took it out of the package. We can see it has a different hook set up there.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
This thing would get bit by those croaker. Man,
Yeah.
that thing would get bit.
Now, this one here, just
I
by
like
looking
this
at
jig.
it, inside the harbor, I would probably take off that bottom hook.
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to get snagged up. In the surf, probably wouldn't be no problem.
No.
But it's a good thing we took it out of the package. This is brand new to us.
I like this jig.
Yeah,
I like
think
the way
that's
it
gonna be
looks.
a good one. Yeah, we can put that one back in the pack. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, because I like it, right? You rat pig. All right, Steve, good job.
Yeah.
I like the way that looks, man. I'm going to catch a fish on that in the morning briefing
100%.
tomorrow.
100%.
Are you believe that, huh?
Yeah, I predict it.
All right, Jeff Yeoman's 540 Slinger Club. In fact, on April the 15th or 16th, I believe it's the 16th.
Sunday.
He's got his
No,
casting.
It's a Saturday, isn't it?
I don't know when. Hey, Jeff, when is your thing? He's on break right now, so he's going to come back and watch, but hopefully he's still here. He's going to watch the whole podcast. He's watching it on break right now. Mike Trunk says, I heard the new finish on the Fathoms is flaking off quite a bit. Is that true?
You know, I have heard that they may have had a couple of issues with a run of them. I don't think it's going to be something that you're going to see forever. Penn is pretty good, you know, at trying to protect their. We did have somebody see.
Somebody trying to break in?
Yeah.
You have to deal with it?
You know, let me go tell them that
go
we're
ahead.
on TV here.
Yeah. Sam will be right back, ladies and gentlemen. And it gives me an opportunity to hit our charters up. We have several charters coming up.
Hey, we're closed.
And,
we're actually filming a thing right now.
I'm listening to
we
what
close at
Sam's
6
saying.
every day,
Oh,
yeah.
wait, he's
You go
mic'd
fish
up,
tomorrow
so you can
morning,
probably
or-
hear him.
Okay. Yeah, we bring it in any time.
I'll let you
Normally
listen
we'll
to
be
Sam.
here, but
This is kinda
yeah,
cool,
so
isn't
6,
it?
man. Sorry about that. Yeah.
Anyway, if you want our charter list, 657-227-6459. Yeah, watch what you say because you're mic'd up. You know,
Oh, yeah.
I let everybody listen to you there.
Oh, okay.
Where were we? What did I ask you? Or
You were talking about. I don't know what you were talking about.
I can't either. I don't remember
I
either.
was doing something else. You're the one over here, man.
I'm done with what
show is this?
Blah, 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 me, right? I just start talking until I think of something to say, you know? All right, so Francisco says, how does the quality
That's what
oh,
we're-
no, wait, the
we were talking
chipping,
about
the
fishing.
chipping.
Yeah.
Mike
So-
Trunk, we don't want to ignore Mike.
Yeah. So, like I said, it was something that I've heard as well. I don't foresee it being something that is going to be long term, though. If there's some issue
They'll
with
fix
the
it.
pig, they'll fix it right away. And I would imagine if you have a reel that has a real bad problem with that, you know, they would probably address it or fix it or help you out with that. I mean, that's one thing that I will say.
Is our customer service good?
Their customer service is good. You
Yeah.
know, with the internationals a couple years ago, there was definitely a few reels in some sizes that had a few little issues. And at first, it was kind of like, well, how are we going to deal with this? Because these guys are back east, you know?
Yeah.
And we had gotten like 2 or 3 of them in a row. And we got a hold of them. And they actually have a really good customer service department. They took care of us, quick.
That's great.
We had one customer that was up north that couldn't get down here to drop us off the reel. We passed them on the customer service information. And they took care of him in 2 days. They had a brand new reel to him. So
Oh, that's great.
I've seen that they really made an effort to make sure that they address any kind of issues that come up.
You know, it seems to me, and I'm in the, you know better than me, but Penn kind of got out of the whole thing for a while, and now
Yeah.
they're back in.
Oh, for sure,
Yeah.
sure. You know, and not only are they back in, it's been, honestly, it's probably been 10 years that they really kind of, made a lot of products that have been really, really good. You know, the Fathoms were the first thing, and actually before that, even the torque reels were really good, but they've improved all of their internationals. Even their rods, which typically a Penn rod isn't something that on the West Coast you're ever going to think, well,
Yeah,
it's worth
that's a
anything.
great, yeah.
But actually, they made some great rail rods,
Yeah.
some bait rods. I know Steve Carson has worked with them really good as far as developing some stuff for
Yeah.
the West Coast. And often what happens, I imagine, is that they have meetings about how they're going to make something, and they agree to some stuff, and some stuff they don't. They listen to us, and sometimes they don't. But it does seem like they've been listening to us
A lot more,
more.
yeah.
So you do see some better products coming out, at least things that we use. I'm pretty sure they make products that other people love in other parts of the world, but definitely we've been seeing some great products come out from Penn, and I would imagine that any kind of momentum that they have with this reel here, they're not going to want to lose it with,
No,
with
right,
the new one. So,
right.
yeah.
All right, Francisco wants to know, how does the quality compare to the older Fathoms? Much
Same.
better?
Same.
Same?
Yeah, they made a few changes. I don't really think there was any issues with the old one. I don't think that they would have changed anything that would have compromised any kind of performance. So to me, I think the biggest part of them making a new series was to add new sizes.
Yeah.
I mean, which they did. They added the smaller sizes and the bigger sizes, which I think they needed because, once again, on the West Coast, this Fathom 40, even though it's caught a ton of big tuna, we needed something that held more line.
Yeah.
And so they made something that held more line and that was bigger.
Yeah.
So I think that's really what they wanted to do, is not necessarily change the quality of them, but more add to the lineup, because it's a strong lineup.
Yeah. There's a lot of people watching our great new show. Whose idea was this? You or me?
It was mine. If it was a lot of people.
No,
yeah.
wait a minute.
20 minutes ago, we had 3 people
Yeah.
watching. It was your idea.
Yeah, it was your idea. He was the one that suggested this. Hey, everybody. All right, so let's go to Joe Sirwald. Joe, it's good to see you, my friend. Joe's a huge supporter of Friedman Adventures. I've heard castability on a star drag is better than a lever drag. Can you explain to me the difference between the two, pros and cons? I was thinking two-speed lever was better than star drag single speed.
So
Probably because it's newer technology, he goes on to say.
Well, one of the things that you're going to find, especially if you do some research, is that, in years past, one of the things that we had was that the lever drags, and we're talking 30 years ago, the lever drags back then, they were really patterned off of a large international, a large Tiago reel that wasn't really made for casting.
Yes.
And so a lot of the design of it, once you started dialing up a little bit of drag, and out here on the West Coast, one of the things that we do is that we'll take a small reel like this, which around the world, this is like a 20-pound reel.
Yeah, right.
But here on the West Coast, this is like a 50 or 60-pound reel.
Which is amazing when you look
Yeah.
at it, right? Because, maybe
Well,
not
it's just
for kids, but we're programmed.
Well, it's also like a West Coast mentality.
Yeah.
I think we fish heavier on gear that was meant to fish smaller. So what that does is that when you start dialing up the preset, you'll get to a point to where you dial it up so much that you start the parts start running together and you lose free spool. It's kind of a little bit oversimplified, my explanation of it, but you'll see any of these lever drag reels, if you just keep turning the preset here, keep turning it, you won't have any free spool at a certain point. Well, those old reels back in the day, that happened real quick, because a reel this size was made to fish 20 or 25-pound tests. They didn't make a reel this size that could fish 50, even now they could. Well, back then, you would have a situation where by the time you dialed up the reel to fish even 40-pound, you would lose free spool completely. So, yeah, it didn't cast very well.
Yeah.
Nowadays, like he's saying, with the new technology, and it's not necessarily quality or nothing like that, but just the design of the reel. Well, now that on the West Coast and in other parts of the world we're using Spectra, a reel this size, fishing 40, 50, 60-pound tests, well, they've designed it so that it will maintain free spool through a large drag range. So now a reel like this will still cast really good. Will it cast as good as the best star drag reel out there? No. The star drag reel will still cast a little bit better. If you're after a competition, casting situation, a star drag reel is going to cast better.
Yeah.
But that's not what we're doing here. We need to get a bait from here to the wall.
Yeah.
And both reels, the star drag reel might get it out there another 5 feet, but it isn't like it's getting you out like 100 feet.
It's minimal.
Farther. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they've kind of evened out. The technology's gotten a lot better. They've made the spools lighter. The bearings are better, things like that. So that's kind of where I would draw that explanation to that. If you're a jig fisherman and you're fishing for yellowtail, probably would still fish a star drag reel. But overall, if you want something that'll kind of do double duty, cast and still fight a big fish, a lever drag 2-speed can do it better now than it ever has before.
All right, very, very good. Great explanation. Sniper Gene, I'm going to screw this all up. What are your thoughts about an Okuma Makaira MK-22, is it?
Yep.
SEA for nighttime tuna fishing compared to a Penn International Visix, VISX 1620?
Both great reels.
Mm-hmm.
Should I bring them?
Abso-freaking-lutely.
Let me go get
I
this
mean,
one.
I hate to have you do that, but I can do all kinds of advertisements
Can you
now.
move these reels?
Of course.
Somewhere?
What do you want to
Yeah.
do there? Just move them out of here?
Yeah.
All
just
right,
get
I
them out
can
of
put
the
them
way.
up here. Hey, where's my backpack? Yeah. Steve Bermuda said, just the way we planned it on those lures I'm going to fish tomorrow. So I'm happy about that. And this show was designed so that Sam could run and get whatever it is you wanted to learn about. And it's coming to fruition right before our very eyes. I am loving it so far, and we appreciate you joining us. Don't forget, every morning, the morning briefing. We'll have that on the air for you. Danny Cadota live Thursday nights, and then we have Friedman Adventures live on Tuesday nights. We're going to be so booked up here pretty soon, but I'll tell you, you guys have been so supportive. Moving up on 2 million views. My prediction is within 2 weeks we should be able to hit that. And Sam is
Tonight,
here.
after this video, 2 million, right?
Maybe, man. I mean, there's a lot of folks watching this, and this show is going to catch on.
You think
I'll
so?
tell yeah, because you're good, man.
right,
You're,
we'll see,
yeah,
we'll see.
I'm telling you.
All right, guys.
If
So
I blow enough smoke, are you going to continue to
bit,
show up
a
every
little bit,
Wednesday?
yeah.
Okay, that's all I'm interested in.
I just want a pizza, man. That's all I want.
I'll get you one. How about a prime rib? They were on sale
know,
there.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
going to
those
get
are
one of
pretty
those.
good. All right, so as far as these big reels here, you know, all those reels are good. You mentioned a Visix 16, a Visix 20, or a Makaira 20.
Mm-hmm.
So I unfortunately don't have a Visix 16 here. We did sell out at the show. It's a popular size.
Yeah.
And also, even the Makaira 16 was sold out. That 16 is probably the most popular size because it's about as small as you can go and still consider it a big reel.
Yeah.
So we're going to compare the Makaira and the Penn.
Excellent.
Both great reels. I think they're so close in overall quality, overall power, smoothness. You know, I think you're not going to blow it either way. The one small difference, and I call it small only because I think you're okay either way, is that the Makaira does have a little bit more line capacity. I don't know if it really is going to show here on the camera, but it's a little bit deeper spool, and it's going to hold maybe 60 or 70 more yards of 100 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But we're talking, you know, 650 versus 750 or something. Both of them hold a ton of line.
Yeah.
You're not going to be
Probably
short on
more
line.
than you
more
need.
than you need,
Yeah.
right? If you are after a larger reel and want a Penn, I personally like the 30.
Yeah.
I know that at the show, you know, after talking to a bunch of people about these reels, that it does seem like some people feel like the 30 is too big or too heavy. I personally don't think it's too big or too heavy. I think it's actually a reel that I'm real comfortable with. But, you know, maybe just the little bit of long range experience that I've had using this size of reel, it doesn't feel big anymore.
Uh-huh.
I think a long time ago it did feel big because I just didn't use it that much. But now that I've been using it here for a few years on my longer trips, it doesn't feel big anymore. So I would actually prefer the 30 myself. But I will say that the 16 is by far the most popular size. We've sold out of both the Penn and the Okuma. So if that's what you have, I wouldn't go out and get rid of it and buy a new reel. But if I was buying one big reel, personally, I would probably either buy the Makaira 20 or the Penn International 30. I just feel like their line capacity allows for maybe a little bit bigger line too. If you wanted to put bigger line, it holds a little bit more line. But this Penn 20 is also good. So
Yeah.
they're pretty close. I'm not going to say one's no good and one's good. They're so close.
What about cost?
The cost, I think, is a little bit more on the Penns, but not by much. I mean, to me, you know, when you're getting into this size of gear, by the time you get the line and the rod and the reel, you're talking a $30 or $40 difference. You know, $50 difference. At the
Oh,
most.
okay.
It's not like it's.
So you want to go for what you think is the quality,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, and you know, maybe if you have a couple other Okumas, you might just stay with Okuma. You know, if you have a couple of Penns and you're a Penn fan, you know, go with the Penns. I personally am a Penn fan, even though I do like the Okumas because I know that they're pretty dang trouble-free. We sell a ton of those Makairas. We never get them back. I mean, even honestly, even for service, we kind of just gauge it by how many we get in for service. We hardly ever get those Makairas in for service even. Although possibly could be that Okuma offers a great service program where I think for 5 years it's free service, and they're right here in Ontario.
Yeah, that's great.
So
5 years?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I mean, so a guy that's got maybe a few smaller reels, bait casters, and then maybe has a 16 and then a 20 or something like that. He sends them all at the same time, and they're usually back pretty quick.
Yeah.
So that's a real convenient thing. So a lot of guys do like the Okuma for that reason. I just happen to be an old school Penn fan.
Yeah.
I like the Penns, but they both offer great options.
Fantastic. Great question. Yeah. You are watching Tackle Store Confessionals, right? That's the name for the next 30 seconds anyway. Tackle Store Confessionals on Friedman Adventures, a brand new show that will air every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Thanks. Welcome, everybody. There's a ton of you jumping on the channel tonight. I know a lot of you are going to watch the archive. Sam's right. We may hit 2 million viewers tonight as things are going crazy. But this is really working out the way I envisioned it now.
All right,
I like it. It's going good. All right, let's. Steve Bermuda says Penn has come a long way. He's really high on that. Charles Zimmer, have you ever taken, you might be running around again, Sam. Have you ever taken a Saltiga lever drag apart? I have a 60, but man, it really hurts the bank. What's inside that thing?
As far as him hurting the bank?
Yeah.
Well,
I think
they are pricey.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. I'm not sure exactly what.
Yeah, what do you mean by that, Chuck?
Yeah.
Chuck might be in the bottle tonight or something. I don't know. No, I'm kidding, Chuck.
He's at the bank. He's hurting him.
Yeah, really. Steve Bermudez, that new jig looks like it would fly through the air in the surf. What weight does it come in? Yeah, it definitely will, Steve. It's heavy. I don't know what weight that is.
This is a 20-gram jig here, but
that thing's bitching.
I looked in the box there. I think we got them up to 60 grams.
Yeah.
Which would be, pretty heavy. But that small size there on some 6-pound would be fine.
This is something, and I will fish with it tomorrow, but my kid, Philip, loves fishing, especially wintertime and coming into this time of the year. Sometimes I can be throwing a crocodile, and I'm going, a medium retrieve, fast retrieve. He's casting something like this and barely just dragging it through the sand.
Okay.
And he's hooked up constantly. And I'm like, I'm not changing, man. They're going to bite this thing. They're going to bite it. And they're lethargic. The water's cold. And he's just dragging it through the sand. Takes a while. And then all of a sudden he's on. I'm like, okay.
Croaker,
yeah, yellowfin croaker.
Yeah, those are the
he was
most
using
fun.
those Promar deception jigs.
Yeah.
They're a little heavier, like kind of,
Yeah, they have like a half-ounce one maybe?
Yeah,
Like that?
yeah. And he was just wiping me out. So, yeah, good stuff. All right, Aaron says, "Hey Phil, first off, met you Wednesday at the Bard Hall show briefly. The semi-young man with a mustache. Can't wait to fish with you this season. Don't get to talk with you, Sam, but soon will." Aaron, thank you so much, man, and to all of you who took the time to come over and say hello to me at the Bard Hall show. I deeply appreciate it. In fact, Sam, you made the comment to me, as I toot my own horn a little bit more, but you said a lot of people came to you and said they've been seeing you on our channel.
Yeah.
And that made me feel good, even if you were lying to me.
No, I mean, we do get it in the shop. Obviously our regulars come through and they say, "Oh, I saw this video on this," and we talk about it further. But yeah, I was blown away. I mean, we did the 3 shows this year, but even all the way down in San Diego, guys coming up to me and say, "Man, I saw your video on that. It really helped me out." I mean, probably the 2 videos, I know you kind of guess which ones they were.
Yeah, because I saw the views on it.
Yeah, and the drop shot, tuna video, and then also the one on organizing the tackle.
Yes.
Those 2, I mean, so many guys said, "Oh man, I really changed the way I did this, way I did that," and it really helped me.
That organizing
exactly the way we wanted it. That's what we wanted.
Except
to
that
help people out.
The organizing, the tackling screwed me because Guess what Scott asked for his birthday present?
that's
So,
right, that's right.
Yeah, I got him that's what I brought him for his birthday. So, good
Scott,
stuff.
these reels are real nice. Right, we gotta talk about these guys right here.
I hope he's not watching tonight. He's trying to play the NBA with me. He's crazy. All right, Francisco, are they making the new generation of Fathom and Star Drag?
I would imagine one's gonna follow the other. I haven't heard of anything. ICAST in July is when they release that kind of stuff, and big companies like Penn are pretty tight-lipped about new products, especially when they're going to have any kind of revamp. I can't see too many changes on that old Fathom, except for maybe cosmetic changes. But I do think that typically they'll want to have one follow the other so they all match. So
Yeah.
that might be the case. I haven't heard of anything. But I wouldn't be surprised if they did do that this year.
More people jumping on the channel. Of course, we start a little early at 6 o'clock, and then it normally builds. But it's really building. Thank you all for joining us. This is a show. The idea, the premise of it, just in case you're wondering, is that we're here at Island Fishing Tackle, so we have a vast array of fishing tackle here. So if you want to see something, you want to learn something, you want to ask Sam, because he's the only one that can teach you anything here. I can just blah, blah, blah. Sam's here to do it, and he's doing a great job tonight. So thanks, everybody. Blue Sky's best Abbott MC reel for 40-pound test.
Probably a JX Raptor or an MXL Raptor. I'd say those are good.
You're smiling because you're waiting for me to say, go get them, right? You don't have to get that to answer that question, right?
Let me see if I have one.
Why not, right? All right, so he's going to run off and do that. Once again, Grunion Run starts tomorrow night. Grunion are the magnet that bring all kinds of predators to our beaches. If you haven't taken the kids down, or anybody for that matter, it's really a lot of fun to do that. You know where the water tower is on Anderson Street, PCH and Anderson Street? I live right near there. That's a good spot to walk out on that beach and then hang a right-hand turn. And if you get down by the jetty, that is normally a really good place to see them. Sam, you want me to move these?
These guys here.
You got to put me to work here.
Someone's got to do it.
Yeah, I know. All right, what do we got now?
All right, so your 40-pound rig here. The JX, been around forever. They make it in a standard 2-speed and also the Raptor. The Raptor is not really necessary for the 40-pound, but it does come standard with the MC, which is what he was asking for, and I think that would work. But even if you got a standard one that wasn't a Raptor, I think they also make it with an MC in the standard. The JX would be good here. It's kind of a narrow, tall reel there, and very good. Actually, when Abbott first came out with that reel in that configuration, I bought one. I used it for a lot of years for 40-pound tests, fishing Guadalupe, fishing local, and really caught a lot of fish on it. I always felt like that was one of their nicest reels. Afterward, they came out with this smaller Raptor series. And actually, I used their SX Raptor as kind of a finesse reel, which is a smaller one than that, but really found that I was kind of a little bit overmatched on some of those Guadalupe fish. But this reel here is their MXL Raptor, which is, you can see, it's a little bit more compact, but it holds about the same amount of line as this JX because it's a little bit more, it's a little shorter but a little wider. So it'll hold about 400 yards or so of 65-pound, which is more than enough for a 40-pound test. So if you wanted to go a little more compact, this would be a good one here, a little bit more standard size, the JX. So JX, MXL, even the MXJ, which is a narrower version of this one, would be okay for 40-pound, but ideally I think these two right here would be perfect.
Great. Blue Skies, great question. Thank you so very much. Francisco, oh no, we already asked that. Aaron, can you show some, oh boy, you're going to be, we thought we weren't going to get any questions. We're never going to get out of here tonight. That's what's going to happen. Aaron says, can you show some accurate reels for iron throwing? Got a couple of new Seeker Luas.
So on those reels here, hopefully you're talking about a skinny butt lure. The luas are a large diameter, but the
you got to run again?
Yeah.
All right, I'll move this stuff.
Something here.
You guys are not killing us. We're loving every bit of this. Which one of these two is going to get bit tomorrow on the surf? Man, I'm telling you, I'm going with this. I think I'm going to be throwing this. So at the end of the show tomorrow, I'm going to have my rod down there, and I'm going to make a couple casts. I'll probably make a couple before I go on the air, just when it's dark. It's a little too dark to film, and I'm down there and I see birds picking, and so many times You know, it doesn't even matter what the tide is doing. It's just the fact that it's daybreak. It's a magical time. Sunset, sunrise, great times regardless of the tide. Sam.
All right. So these are the Turn 2s from Accurate. These are their Star Drag reels.
Yeah.
They've been pretty well received. They have a cast control system. It's kind of real nice size. It's like a Jig Master size. Here, that's the 500. This is the 600. The only issue you might encounter is, like I was saying, on a large diameter rod like that, because it's not going to have a reel seat, it's going to be a deckhand, is that the space between these two
Is not adequate?
is not large enough
Yeah.
here too, and you really can't just add a larger clamp. But
Right.
there is some aftermarket clamps that might work with it, depending on which one you use. But it is going to take some finagling here. You're going to have to take these off and add some kind of aftermarket wider clamp.
Can you get those here?
Yeah, you can get
Yeah.
those here. Accurate also makes a clamp system that's called the Pitbull clamp, and it works pretty good. I think that should be big enough. So just kind of be advised that you're going to have some other type of clamping mechanism here to go along with that reel. But if you wanted to go with the Accurate, these are the two. It would be the 500 and the 600 Turn 2 would be the ones here.
All right, perfect. Great question there. Definitely, Aaron. Steve Bermudez, love talking about tackle. It's the meat and potatoes of the industry. Aaron says, and also, how much are those extra tough 6-inch boots?
6-inch boots.
This week, do you still have the Bart Hall prices?
Yeah. So we were doing the ankle boots there, the 6-inch boots. We were doing them for $75. It's kind of a decent discount.
That's a really good discount.
I don't know how many sizes we have left, so hopefully if you come down, we have your size. But I know the middle sizes for I think 9 and 10 we're probably out of, maybe even 11s. I'd have to look. We might have one or two. I see it's 9 right there.
You got any
9s.
14s hanging around?
Actually, 14s we got a lot
Oh,
of.
that's me, man.
Yeah.
Perfect.
In fact, if you're a 14, I'd probably give you a little extra discount because that's the one size
Oh.
we hardly sold any of.
Yeah,
So-
this is my lucky night. Hey, Steve wants to know if you can take those out of the box, the boots. Yeah,
boots?
yeah, because then you can't sell them, right?
there.
Yeah, perfect. All right, perfect. So 14s, you'll say. I thought I saw a bunch of 14s
Yeah,
there.
we got quite a few.
Try to
Quite
buy a
few.
14 in China when you're living in China.
Yeah?
Oh my
Yeah,
God. Yeah,
That
that
ain't gonna happen.
shove my foot in.
They're made in China.
Yeah, what's wrong? They ship them all over here to the gringos. Dan Smith says, I love this show. God,
Awesome,
Sam,
Dan.
we did it, man. Hey, you know what? A little high five because you and I worked together on this gathering of the clothing to go down
Yeah.
to Mexico. It's across the border. It's at Diego Nuno's
Nice.
parents' house.
Nice.
I went to their house. My God, they must have that stuff just brimming out of their house. There's so much. But now we're going to go from there to Cedros, and maybe in a perfect world, you and I could go down and distribute some of that. We'll
perfect
see.
world, yeah.
Yeah, I know. we get shows now every single night.
Maybe every Wednesday we'll go down there.
But you were always a big inspiration. And it was actually you, because I was talking about handing the stuff out in Tecate or Rosarito or wherever, and you said you should hand it out, or we should, in areas where fishermen go to fish as a way of saying thank you to Mexico and the Mexican people for letting us fish those
areas,
great
yeah.
waters,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
That was your idea, and it's a great idea.
Yeah, figure if we're gonna distribute some resources, why not to the people that let us use their resources? You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Israel de la Cruz, talk about a great guy and a wonderful human being. Israel, it's good to see you, my friend. He says these tackle shows, tackle store confessions, are going to come in really handy when the fish start biting, because then you're going to be able to show the exact sea bass jig that's working, the exact, and it's all going to be current.
Yeah. Once we get some weather, that's true. You know, I think that'll be kind of cool. Once we get some weather, we get some guys fishing and guys coming through the shop, I can talk about, today a guy came in and said this or that, or yesterday.
Right.
And we can really get some, kind of more up-to-date information for what's going on.
Right. I get all kinds of inside information, as you were saying today. Yep. Some of it I can share.
Yeah.
And some of it, my lips are sealed. I can't share, or the guy will kill me.
Come here, I'll tell you about it.
Sam, all you got to do is pay him off. He'll let you know. All right. Let's see. Aaron says you're going to start having a crowd at 6 p.m. on Wednesday in person. He thinks a bunch of
You were
people want to
talking
go.
about that
I
too,
know,
yeah.
yeah. Studio audience, right?
It'd be cool.
We'll get the kids to popcorn it up, and
I don't have to go run around grabbing tackle.
yeah, exactly. You can get them to do it. Travis Bright, talk about a great guy who's a wonderful person, his wife and his daughter. I love them all. Sam picked up a Seeker 10-foot black steel, 25 to 50 pound. What surface iron would load up well, lighter or heavier? Thanks, guys, for being here tonight and every Wednesday night, almost.
So that sounds like that was the F100, CJB F100. Really nice rod. Actually, I have one of those, and I like it a lot. It's a rod that's a little bit lighter tipped, but no problem throwing 45s or 7Xs. It probably would be best with a C, C size jig as far as your optimal jig for that rod. So,
Yeah.
But there's a lot of other jigs in that kind of size. It'd be if it was in the Salis, it'd be a J-Pod or something like that, or in the JRI, maybe a number 3 or number 1, or one of those DW1 jigs. That would be good with that. But that rod's pretty versatile. It's a rod that I fished a lot, maybe 5-6 years ago. I fished it quite a bit when that fish was at the Farnsworth, and we had opportunities to fish all kinds of different jigs, and the fish were biting really good. So I like that rod a lot. It's more versatile than you think. I wouldn't peg it with a one jig size, but definitely more on the medium size is optimal for that rod. But it'll throw a lot of different stuff.
Perfect. Aaron says he'll bring a 6er and a pizza next week.
Oh man, pizza.
Yeah, anybody out there want to send Sam a pizza? You can look up the address here and send Sam a pizza. The poor guy's hungry. What do you like on your pizza?
Pepperoni. Easy.
Pepperoni. There you go. Now me, I can scrape off the cheese and everything and eat that, but I can't eat the bread. No, but who cares? All right, let's see. Christopher Martinez. The two biggest differences between those reels is weight and maintenance. He must be talking about these, I guess, right? Does that make sense to you?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if there's a difference between the two in maintenance.
The Mac is lighter.
Oh, Makaira.
Yeah.
He's talking about the not these two, but the bigger reels.
Yes.
The Makaira's a little bit, it's not that much lighter. Like I said, it's, to me, that bigger reel isn't a big deal. The weight, when you're jig fishing at night. Let me grab a rod. We can kind of show it here.
Yeah, cool.
When you're jig fishing at night, you're not really like bait fishing. So
Hey, these wireless mics are freaking coming in handy now, aren't they, man?
Now I can talk while I'm walking.
We're
here.
just getting, our technology on the Friedman Adventures show.
A live bait rod like here. I don't know if I'm going to be in the shot here, but
You should be kind of in it.
but you're fishing like this here. You got your reel, and you are holding the rod up. You're holding the rod, waiting for your bite. And so the weight might be a factor, when you're doing that. When you're fishing, on these big fish, here, is that one of the big reels there? Any of those, just that one's fine.
There we go.
When you're fishing for big fish at night, we're talking about these, reels that they're heavy and stuff like that. Well, on these big reels, they're all somewhat heavy. They're definitely heavier than these fathoms or something like that. So here's this guy here. One of the things that you're going to do, I don't know if you see at the front of the table there, is that when you're winding, you're laying the rod on the rail. It's going to be up here, not down there where I'm showing it, but it'll be on the foregrip.
Right.
But you're laying it on the rail when you're winding. So you're not really even holding up the rod, like how you are bait fishing. You're not doing that. You're not bait fishing like that, And even bait fishing, I don't think is a big problem. But for someone that hasn't handled a big reel and a rod, it is going to feel big. But when you're jig fishing specifically, these knife jigs, you are putting the rod on the rail, and a lot of times you won't even have your hand up here because it's kind of a little awkward to get around the reel. I'll hold my hand up on top to guide the line.
Right.
And I'm winding like this. And there's, it seems like you're almost not even holding on to the rod and reel because it's just under your arm. But if you get bit, the pressure goes up. It ain't going anywhere.
Right.
In fact, you're going to be in the
Makes
position
sense.
right away to drop down and get some real pressure on the fish. So to me, I'm fishing like this the whole time. So the weight of the rod and the reel has no bearing to my choice of what I'm going to use. So that's one thing to kind of point out there is that's why I kind of comment that, the weight of the reel is not a big deal.
Yeah, right. Good. Excellent.
Helps or not?
Yeah. Hey, Sam, before I go to the next question, we have a plethora, copious amounts of questions tonight. Joe Russo was here today, and he
yeah.
has his assist. What's it called? The assist rod pipe or the? Anyway, I just put a
The big
video
tuna
up.
thing there,
Yeah, the
yeah.
bluefin tuna thing. What do you think about that? And what do you think about the spinning reel part of it? Because
Yeah.
there was some, I mean, it looks like it'll work, but we've got to actually catch some fish with it, right?
Yeah, I mean the device by itself is really really nice.
It's great,
if
right?
you're on a private boat and you're going to target big fish, fighting that fish is if it's going to be out of the rod holder, you're going to fish it stand up. Using that device for a rail technique basically is there's no other way to do it.
I'm telling you, you got to have that
Yeah.
thing, right?
Yeah, I mean,
and there's a video out there you can watch
Yeah.
with Joe's phone number in case you're
I
interested.
mean,
but-
there's harnesses and things like that.
Yeah.
And there's other ways of doing it, but they are not that easy. I wouldn't say that you'd be able to be as effective as you are with that device that Joe's got. I mean, that thing is pretty darn nice. And there's been guys that have done different things. He even mentioned that Ralph Acore, he had kind of like put together a contraption to do the same thing, but it definitely wasn't made for it. He just kind of put it together. In fact, he said he used it at one of his seminars, but even Ralph, that is a big fish guy, he saw that and didn't even have to even try it. He's like, oh, I need some of those.
Right.
Those are going to help me out a lot. So, guys that do that kind of fishing will look at something like that. They know right away this is going to be a big help. So, as far as the device itself, I mean, for using big gear, like I was just showing you internationals, you're going to see a lot of boats using it.
Yeah.
So we were talking about the spinning gear. So, he brought it in and showed it, and it does look like it's going to work pretty good. I would say that there's some things that you have to kind of consider ahead of time and I think you guys were doing the video on it earlier today, but you want to make sure that the rod has some type of long foregrip, and you may have to add something, after. And there's different ways to do it. Obviously, we build rods here, so we can help you with that, but you might, if you're looking for a rod, you might want to look for something that has a long foregrip. And then also, too, is
We're talking spinning now.
spinning, yeah. Maybe something a little stiffer as well, because you're going to be able to put a lot of pressure on that fish now. So now you want to have something that'll be able to use that pressure, so something a little bit stiffer. And then also too, which at first when you told me about it, I'm like, man, I think this is not going to work, because we've talked about using a spinning reel on big fish for a lot of years, and the hurdle has always been, well, there's two hurdles. One is that you can't put it on the rail.
Yeah.
And that pretty much right there, that was already, you can't do this.
Yeah, right.
So what he did is that, and then after seeing it, I'm like, well, that's so simple. I can't believe anybody else didn't think about it before.
It makes sense.
You just put the line outside of the saddle, the Y part of it, and you could wind, and the line's going to be coming kind of around the rod a little bit, but it seemed to work just fine. I mean, we'd have to really try it to see if it, binds on the bail, or there's some other issue. You might have to kind of be a certain distance away. That's kind of what we were talking about.
Yeah.
I think that we have to go and try it and see what adjustments we need to make to be able to use it properly.
Yeah.
And maybe certain reels, maybe they're too big or too small, things like that. But overall, just seeing that line outside that saddle and how he was able to wind through it, I mean, that's going to be a game changer for guys using, long rod and poppers with the spinning reels. So
Yeah,
it's
good.
going to work for
All
sure.
right, good. And you can see that video. It's up right now. Check it out. You can text Joe if you want to get one. There was another gentleman in there who saw it.
Yeah.
He was like, oh, man, I
Give me
need
one
that.
of those.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
want
yeah.
that. So it really, I think, will help you a great deal. Joe's a great guy and good stuff. Joe Sirwald says, I wish I lived by Sam's Tackle Shop. He's got everything I need, one-stop shopping. Steve Bermudez is now calling me Vanna White, and he's saying, come on, Vanna, when you show the reels,
yeah.
wave your hand, get your hand out in front of the, I guess my hand's in front. So I've got to practice my Vanna White stuff. Steve, seriously, I'm going to kill you, I can't believe you know Steve. Dan Smith, big happy face there. Steve says, good evening to you both. Mark says, hi, Sam and Phil. Good seeing you at the shop yesterday and spooling up my reels. He was there. Quick question, hollow versus regular braid, which is stronger and which line can be added more to a reel?
Well, they're about the same as far as strength. As far as adding, you can add anything to anything, really. It's really more about how you want that addition to be made. Solid to solid, you're going to have to tie it together. And, over the years, so many times I've seen crew members, cut a guy out of a tangle, hold the line, cut this line and join it and land a 150-pound tuna. So I know the connection to hold. It's really more a matter of just how it looks. You just don't like winding through a knot. You know, it's
Yeah,
not
right.
really nice. With the hollow, you're able to put the solid inside the hollow and make a more seamless type connection where you actually don't even hardly notice it coming through your guides. Same with the hollow, two hollows, you can connect them as well. So you can connect all of them. It's really more a matter of how you want that connection to look. You know, I mean, the knot holds. I mean, I'm sure hundreds of big tuna have been caught with that type of connection because a guy had to get untangled or maybe caught on an anchor or something like that. And so I know the knot will hold just fine. It's really more a matter of how you want that knot to look.
Yeah. Mark goes on to ask a question. Do you have colored Iser line? He needs a refresh after catching a couple of big cows last year.
Yeah, we got it in stock. The new 65-pound, I just ordered some. So we'll have it from 65, 80, 100, and then the 130 is hollow. But all the other ones are solid. So 65, 80, and 100 is solid.
All right, and Christopher Martinez is helping Chuck Zimmer out. He wanted to know about the internals, and he says they're higher density and probably heat treated. Those Daiwa Saltigas are precision inside plus lightweight. The Terpez, best tackle shop in Southern California. Sam always treats me right. You know that guy, Sam?
Is it?
The Terpez.
I don't know his tag.
I know, exactly.
I'm pretty sure I know who.
I'm sure you do. Chuck Zimmer, maybe a name for the show. Tackle tune-up with Sam.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Or Albacore tips or something.
Yeah, Albacore. Albacore are coming. Tom Durr says they're coming.
They're coming.
Yeah, Tom's 90,000 years
north
old.
of San Francisco. Is that that's where they're coming or something like
I was
that?
talking to a guy who's a commercial albacore fisherman today, and he said, you know, nobody wants to make a prediction anymore because it's really difficult to do, but we do have cooler water, that's for sure. They like cooler water. Like Mike McDaniel said, every time I go to the San Diego bait receiver, I see nothing but sardine. When I see
anchovy, yeah.
a whole bunch of anchovy, I'll go on an exploratory albacore trip. And
Well, when it happens, all those 85,000 predictions that you've made
will be
are
true.
going to cash in.
Yes.
Because everyone's going to be searching Albacore.
And-
You'll be all over it. Number
Yeah,
one.
you know what I got to stop doing is
Play the long game.
don't put the year on it.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
so I believe there's going to be an albacore, and then
Yeah.
just rerun that
Yep.
from 2018.
Eventually,
And-
you'll cash in. Yeah.
I'll get it, man. That's what I'm hoping for. Let me tell you. All right, Christopher Martinez. Gonna repeat my suggestion for the new show name, Getting Swooled Up. Chris, we love it. It's a good name.
It's a good name,
That's
too.
another good
Yeah,
one,
yeah.
man. Yeah, thank you. In case I jumped over that. Daniel Leanos. Thank you, Sam and Phil, for doing this show. This show is going to be a hit. It's already a hit, man. There's a ton of people on here. I'm loving it. Every once in a while, I come up with a good, or no, you came up with it. Well, I don't know.
If we could do a tour of all the tackle shops.
I'm telling you, man, if a frickin'
Pretty
pizza
cool.
shows up tonight, like, what if 10 pizzas show up, man? I'll be out, like, delivering pizzas tonight. All right, Martin M., surface iron fishing question. If you had to choose from a Penn Fathom 2-star drag, what gear ratio would you want? The 4-8-1 or 6-2-1?
The 6'2". You know, I am kind of an old school guy, and so you would think, okay, well, the 4.8 is more what I would want because that's closer to what the older reels are.
Yeah.
But, you know, after fishing the Trinidad for now 15, 20 years, and I've kind of gotten used to that higher gear ratio. That's just what I did, you know, what I like. You know, I actually have one, I had a couple of the Torque Star Drag reels, which are virtually identical to the Fathom Star Drag reels. And I changed the gear. They offered a lower gear set. You could go out and buy the lower gear set. So I bought them because I thought, well, I'm going to like these better because they're lower gear.
Yeah.
And I put them in, and I will tell you, I didn't like it. Not because it didn't swim right or nothing like that, but I think now over the years, the higher gear ratio, you know, there's a little bit more resistance because it's, you know, it's a higher gear. And I think I've just gotten so used to that my cadence is based on that resistance. And that 4.8, there was almost no, it almost felt like there was no jig on the end of it.
Yeah.
So it kind of messed up my cadence
Yeah.
a little bit. I think both of them will work, no problem. I just think you have to get used to one or the other. I think, you know, so, but for me, the higher gear ratio.
Dan Smith says there's 60 people watching this. Hit the like button, folks. Please do that. There are 76 people watching this. So
Jeez.
that's good, man. We're doing good here. And please, if you could hit that like button, That'll make Sam very, very happy. If he doesn't get a pizza tonight, at least he can go home and tell his wife, sweetheart, I got 46 likes tonight. I mean, give me a hug, please. Somebody loves me out there. Blue Sky says pink and white, Phil. I wonder what he's referring to. You know, sometimes, oh, there you go. Yeah. All right, pink and white. Yes, absolutely. Fish Guy. Hi, Sam. Hi, Phil. Are there any updates available for the non-Raptor Abbott reels to make them close to the Raptors?
No, the side plate's different. The spools are different. You know, there's too many parts inside. I mean, it would probably cost you the price of a reel to update that reel. Nothing that I can see that would be an easy change.
You were asking Aaron what kind of Alua he had, and he's got a regular Alua with a skinny butt.
Yeah.
All right. Aaron says thank you so much. He deeply appreciates your counsel or your advice
Tips.
on that.
Yeah.
Joe Sirwald, Sam, being a person that goes on quite a few multi-day charters, what's your thoughts on putting a whole spool of fluoro on instead of 4 to 5 feet? Fluoro sinks quicker than mono, and a bit of an edge. He needs some advice on that. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely have some customers who do that. Not too many, because the price of the fluorocarbon.
It's expensive, right?
It's a little pricey. I mean, you know, you kind of start getting into that question of, you know, what does it cost to you in relation to the trip, you know, and catching more fish and that kind of thing. To me, it's more important to be open to that idea.
Yeah.
You know, there are times where maybe that's going to be the key to getting a bite, and a really picky bite is going longer. You know, it doesn't necessarily have to be 25 yards, you know, 75 feet, but maybe going 25, 30 feet versus 5 feet, you know, might be a way to get bit. So I think being open to the idea is important, because sometimes getting bit is about making an adjustment, and that might be the adjustment you need to make as a longer fluorocarbon leader. So I wouldn't say, you know, do it or don't do it. I think being open to it is what you want to have.
Aaron wants, he says, need a 10, LOL. I'll come in and get a pair and a turn. So he needs a 10, I think.
I think I'm out of 10s, but
Aaron, we'll find some for you.
Yeah.
Hey, Aaron, those 14s, you get a discount, man.
Yeah,
You look
wear
like a
14.
clown wearing them, but it's okay, man. You get a discount.
Two socks on.
Yeah, exactly. Brandon Cassar, a.k.a. The Corpse. Do you know why we call him The Corpse? You know, right?
I've heard the story,
He slept in the galley and threw a sheet over himself. He looked like
Corpse.
somebody killed themselves like last night, and they drug him in the galley. He says there's a shortage of Macairas these days, Sam. I'm switching all my Abbots out to Macairas and Talicas.
All right.
Yeah, right?
Cool.
Yeah. Congratulations, Brandon. Yes. Steve Bermudez, the time schedule you choose for this show is great. We get to see a great sunset out the front door behind you. Oh, BS. Can you see anything? Oh, you can't see anything.
That's kind of cool, though.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I'm loving this, man. This is a great show. I'm learning a lot from you, as always. Jeff Fuchs, who's a great guy. Phil, are the extra tough boots really comfy? I'll let you answer that. Yeah,
So,
I mean, they're okay with me.
You know, these ones that we're selling here, you know, like just like any footwear, you know, everybody likes something different. But if you're a guy who likes to wear like Vans or Converse, it seems like these are the guys that like these boots here. They're a little bit lower as far as the sole, you know, kind of like a Vans. They are a little bit about the same width. They're not wide, you know. They're kind of more of a narrower width, I guess. Personally, myself, they're a little bit more too narrow for me.
Yeah.
But for some people, you know, they fit just fine. They're super popular just because I think there's more common foot size, I guess, that fit these. But for me personally, I have a wider foot.
Yeah, me too.
They don't really fit too well for me.
You know, those short, like as up until today, like for the last maybe year or two, I don't know how long they've been around. I've looked at them and I go, not even interested. I'm going to get water down that.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I looked at them today and I'm going, I'm ready to try those. They look more comfortable. And, you know, as long as you don't stand near the guy with the hose, you're not going to get soaked.
So there's another series of these boots. And, well, I should try them on, but it's kind of hard to get back there right now. But
oh, you're going to try them on air tonight?
Yeah.
I think it's a great
so
idea. I'll film you trying to get them. That ought to be that's the video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the extra tough boots, they have the the ankle boots here. They've been around for, I don't know, 5, 6 years at
Yeah.
least, maybe 7 years. They have a new one. It's called a wheelhouse. So that one is wider. That's a comfortable boot. It's also a thicker sole, kind of more of a rugged work sole. And we saw a lot of those too. Most guys who try those on, that have guys like me that have a wider foot, first time they try them on, they're like, I don't care the price, I'm buying these things.
Oh, really?
Because they've lived through their whole life being
Yeah.
uncomfortable.
Yeah, right.
You know, so they
Right.
try those on, they buy them right away. So those other ones are wider. They're really, really comfortable.
What are those?
Those are the extra tough
Yeah.
wheelhouse line.
Oh,
There's a
okay.
Wheelhouse, yeah.
All right, sounds good. Pay him his money. Do you have any CP 105 jigs in stock?
Heavies or lights?
Heavies or lights? We'll wait.
Probably heavies. Let me go look.
All right,
We got 'em
Sam's
both.
going to go get those right now. It gives me an opportunity to remind you all that you can get raffle tickets, and you can join us on April the 13th at the Redondo Rod and Gun Club. It's going to be a great night because Danny Cadota will be putting on his live show at the Redondo Rod and Gun Club from 6 to 7. And then following that, Bill Wilkerson, the owner-operator of the Horizon, as well as the Malahini out of H&M Landing in San Diego. Bill's going to be there to talk to you all about the Horizon. You can meet Bill. You can talk to him. If you can't be there, we'll live stream it. And if you want more information, I wish I had Chuck's number with me, just send me a text and I'll get you the information. 657-227-6459. Man, these commercials that I'm doing are perfectly timed. Sam.
So I do got a couple here. We sold a ton of Salis jigs and Tatty jigs at the show. But the CP105, got the all mint, the blue and white, and the mint and white. That's kind of what I got left. But once we get everything put back,
These yo-yo iron yellows are going to chew those
yeah,
up, right?
That's a good yo-yo jig right there.
Yeah, it is.
Once we get all put back and get all our stuff back from the show, we'll probably reorder.
Is that the price?
Well, that's the price right now.
I was
but
going to say that's
it's pretty dang low.
cheap.
Yeah.
$10?
$10 a jig. Yeah. It was kind of a last year's price we were running at the show.
What a shame these are out of the box.
I
too.
know, yeah.
Let me, there we go. It's all my stuff. Yeah.
But the price has gone up on a lot of, as we know, jigs in particular, just because the materials have gone up.
Yeah.
Even our tatty
Everything.
jigs, our tatty jigs, we had them at like $12, $13, which I know that the price now is around like $16, and these are probably going to go up a few bucks as well. But Salis is still probably going to be your best price jig no matter what. If you guys get in here this week and get them before I change the price, I mean that's going to be the deal. But
Or if they send a pizza, pepperoni to you
that'll
tonight.
help out a lot.
Yeah, that would really seal the deal for you. let me
all
tell
these
you.
CP105s will be included there. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Thank God these wireless. I was going to ask everybody if they can hear us, but they obviously can hear us, right?
Yeah.
So everything's going good. All right, Jeff Uke says, do you have any sales going on right now? And do you sell ops and fluorocarbon?
We haven't got the option in yet. We really don't have the room, but he's such a great guy. I think we have to figure out a way to get him in. So I don't have it in.
When did you meet Greg? At the shows
At
or
the
what?
show.
Yeah. He is a
I
nice
thought
guy.
we met him down at the Landy one day, but
Yeah, I think he was there at one of our celebrations,
I think
right?
so,
I think
yeah.
it was our 100 view celebration. Took us, 6 months to get to 100 views?
but as far as sales right now, I don't have anything official like with signs posted or nothing like that. But if you saw something at the show that we had, and there was a sale price on it, and you just maybe forgot or couldn't pick it up that day, I probably would honor it, for the rest of the month, more or less, But nothing really set in stone, I mean, if it's a month and a day or something like that, a guy comes in, I probably would still do it. But I would say for sure, for the next month, I'm pretty darn sure that we would probably honor almost anything that we saw. Just a guy today bought a Raptor, and we were doing 10% off at the show. We gave him 10% off.
Oh, nice.
No big deal, Avid Raptor. So, stuff like that. And when we can. Sometimes there were some promotions that were being supported by the manufacturer. They're not here to give the extra whatever that was.
Yeah.
Obviously, couldn't do that. But there was mostly everything that we were doing there at the show would probably be able to do something for you.
Hey, why don't you talk about Warren from Toit? Because you told me I should go over and videotape some of Warren's stuff, and his product was really good. And there's all those videos are up if you wanted to see all the stuff. Sam will talk to you a little bit about it right now. But Warren was a delightful guy, and so was his daughter.
Yeah.
And more than anything, I just felt like I told him when we were done, I go, Boy, that was like that, and I feel like we have a friendship already.
Yeah.
Nice guy.
So in January, one of my distributors, brought me these tools and said, hey, this guy here, this Toit Tools, I think
Toit.
Toit. These things are really cool. I think you should think about carrying them, And I said, well, yeah, that's they look nice, and they did look like well packaged, and they look really nice. And didn't really think much of it. I'm like, there's always new tools coming on the market. And he was telling me about how great a presentation he made at the. They had a show in Nashville, and he was telling me about how they look so great and all this stuff, and I was like, well, that's cool, maybe I'll try a couple or whatever. And they came in, and I thought they were nice, and I think we did a video on it one day.
We did actually.
I think that they were really nice, and he said, well, he wants to come out and help you sell them at the show.
And he's in the UK.
Yeah. So this guy is no joke. I mean, he's really committed, right?
Yeah.
So I said, well, yeah, I think that'd be cool, but I don't know how much it costs to fly from London here, but I can't imagine him selling that many tools that would make it worthwhile to come down, And he says, well, all he wants to do is start, spreading the name, getting some brand awareness out there and letting people know about his products. And I'm thinking, well, maybe he's got like 100 products, maybe he's got a whole product line with line and fluorocarbon. I mean, he said, nope, just tools.
Yeah.
Well, how many tools? He said, well, he's only got like 10. I'm like, man, I don't know how he's going to do it. And so started running the numbers as far as how many tools he was going to send out, because he had to, send out all the tools. And
ahead of time, yeah.
And it was like 1,000 tools. And I'm like,
poor guy.
I'm like, man,
yeah.
Just the cost to ship those things out here, he's not going to make the money back, right? It wasn't 1,000, but it was a lot. And so I told my distributor, I says, well, if he's, I'm not putting myself on the line here, but if he's willing to come out here and give it a shot, I'm willing to give him the space. And the distributor that I work with, I trust him fully, so I was kind of felt like I was going on a limb, but, I trust the guy. And he says, believe me, this guy's really good. He knows what he's doing. It's a great tool. He makes a great presentation, and guys love it. I'm like, okay, well, let's give it a shot.
Yeah.
So Warren came down. I talked to him on the phone a few times. Still wasn't really sure. He came down, he set up, and I'm like, okay, well, you have this little table about the half size of this table here. And he says, okay, I'm ready to go. And I'm like, all right, we'll see how this goes. I mean, I almost felt bad because thinking he went all this way, he sent all these tools, and I just can't see guys buying them, but I hadn't seen the presentation,
Yeah.
So we start the show, and the guys start coming to the booth, right? And immediately guys are coming to the register with these tools, and I'm like, well, a couple guys you never know, right?
Yeah.
And throughout the whole day, just more and more and more, and I was like, what the heck is this guy doing? This guy is just selling these tools like crazy. And to be honest with you, I really didn't have time because we were so busy.
Yeah, I know. You have to go back and watch my videos.
Yeah. So I don't really even know how he was explaining them, but apparently these tools are that good.
It was a combination of the tools being super good and him being such a nice guy.
Yeah, and he is. Through the whole show, we had many conversations. When it would slow down, we talk about fishing. He was telling me about how he grew up in South Africa, and they have a yellowtail type fish out there too, and just lures that he would make and how he would fish, and just kind of like talking fishing more than business. And he's just such a nice guy.
Yeah.
That I'm like, well, that's probably what it was. He just is.
I think
the way
so.
It came across. He's a super cool guy. He's got in the works some other tools that are coming for next year that he was, nice enough to share with me. And then, man, besides being a nice guy, he's a super smart guy.
He really is. He's a really bright guy. I think he's an engineer, some kind of an engineer.
I didn't check his credentials, but he's smarter than I am.
Yeah,
for sure.
me too. Got me nailed.
Yeah, he's got some cool stuff coming out. I even told him, I said, man, kind of almost ashamed that you're wasting all his knowledge on this fishing guys. I'm like, it seems like you should be making like rockets or something. I don't know. This guy's so smart.
He might be doing that too.
He probably is too. Yeah. But Warren's a really, really nice guy, and I think you did the videos. You should try to hit up his website. I think he's got a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
I think he's got 2 YouTube channels. One on his tools and one on connections or knots or something like that. But super, super nice guy. We're going to be carrying his tools here. I mean, I can't see not having them after.
Do you have them now?
Yeah, I got 4 boxes of them there.
Oh, cool. I see them right there.
Yeah. We're definitely going to carry him strong. He's a super cool guy, and glad to have his products here.
Yeah, and they looked really super
And they
good.
are.
Yeah.
They are. They're really, really nice tools.
And I'm pretty sure I looked at the price and they weren't overpriced.
No, I mean, they're definitely more than your $10 basic tool.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it's not what it is.
I thought I saw something for like $35, something like that.
Yeah, well, at
Was
the
it-
show we had them on sale.
Yeah.
I think the regular price is like $40 or $50, and we had them on sale at the show. But every tool looks like a basic tool, but he has an improvement on them. He didn't make a tool just to fill a slot.
Yeah.
He wanted to make a tool that had some improvement, and every single one of them is just like your run-of-the-mill tool, but better.
That's
Everything is
awesome.
Better.
He's a cool guy.
He's a cool guy.
All right. Christopher Martinez. Chris, thanks again. Very knowledgeable guy. Chris, he says, biggest issue with the Turner 2 is the cast control itself. The cast control is internal, so you have to open it up, the reel, to adjust it. That plus the smaller reel body screws means more broken screws.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely have to have a good tool to do that. And what he's mentioning is that the cast control system is on the inside versus something that you can dial on the outside. And he's right. Once you get used to using those screws, though, it's not too bad. And if you're maintaining your reels and making sure that there's no corrosion starting inside those screws, you're going to find that it's not too bad. But he's right. If you were to let the reel sit there, and not have any service for 2 or 3 years, then try to go in there and make that adjustment, yeah, you're going to find that the little screws, if they're a little tight, are hard to grab onto. But if you do it often enough, you shouldn't have that issue. But he's right. Those screws are a little small.
Yeah.
And you have to have a good tool to open those up. But obviously they work because we service them all the time. We really don't ever break them.
Yeah.
Once in a long time, a reel comes in that just been dogged. I mean, that haven't been serviced in 10 years and been sitting on the boat. Yeah, those have a little bit more of an issue. But if you service it, regularly, you'll find that shouldn't be too much of a problem.
Excellent, excellent. It was great. I saw the twins over at the show, and I haven't seen them for quite some time. I think before I went to China, and my kids, I think it's been several years. I mean, Philip and Patrick were like that small, so I brought them over, and Philip's like 6'4", and they're like, what? I can't believe this. It was really nice to see those guys. So that was really cool. All right, Jeff says, mess the special they had at the Bard Hall show. Mark says, I got an idea for the name, Tackle Talk Happy Hour. Why not? That's a good one too.
Yeah.
There's so many good names coming up. I think the guy that sends the pepperoni pizza wins.
Yes.
That's it. Yeah, right? Dave Clark, Sam, to upgrade my 60-pound outfit, would you go with the Fathom 240 or Makaira 16?
Well,
Man, they're putting you on the spot here.
60-pound, it's kind of an in-between size. It's a big size. 60-pound test, you're going to be pulling real hard. But it's not a 100-pound, big giant thing. So I would say, in my opinion, if it was me, I probably would go, honestly, I wouldn't choose either of those two. If you wanted to have a big, robust reel, I'd probably go with the International 12.
Yeah.
That's their smallest size. I'd really like that for 60-pound. The Fathom 40 is more than enough. It will perform just fine. And if you're looking for a value reel, that Fathom 40 is going to fit the bill really good. If you're looking for something a little bit more of a step up, in the Makaira line, I would go with the 15T. In the Penn, just because I'm a Penn fan, I'd go with the Penn International 12. But that 15T in the Makaira and Penn 12 would be kind of your step up.
Fantastic. Noli Yan says, and he's a great guy. You know Noli?
Yeah.
Great show, fellas. Congratulations on the new show.
All right, Noli.
My idea. I love it.
One and done, right?
Yeah, man. You and I, man, we're teaming up again, Sam. I love working with you, by the way. I'm only going to say that one time tonight. All right, I'm waiting. One of these names is going to be like Seymour Butts or, and I'm just going to read it, right? Yeah, but whatever it is. All right, let's see. Hobob77. Too much OG. There are a lot of great options. It depends on what your budget is. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay. Jeff Hughes, also need to wrap your rods. Maybe he needs to get his rods wrapped.
Oh, yeah.
Tim Marquez, who's a great guy, Sam and Phil, I bought a Daiwa Fuego 2500 for the surf. My favorite reel. I love that mag seal. What do you recommend for a rod? You know, typically what, and I know not, I mean, you know, but like a steelhead type rod is
Yeah.
what you want for the surf. It
Yeah.
works perfectly. But
Yeah.
go ahead.
That's exactly what it is. You know, I mean, it depends on how much money you want to spend as well. I mean, everything from Shimano, Daiwa, they have stuff that starts at around 60, 70 bucks all the way to, a $200 Phoenix rod. But I would say run-of-the-mill stuff. Daiwa has that North Coast line, which is really, really popular, good value. I think they're like 80 bucks or something like that. But we do sell a lot of Phoenix rods. They are a little bit lighter. They have a little bit lighter tip, that nicer action, and those trifectas.
Yeah.
And they're not, the price isn't too bad on them. But the two things that you're going to want to kind of look at is how hard you're going to fish. If you're going to fish a lot of surf and you wanted to have a bait rod, like something to fish sand crabs for like Corbina and things like that, you probably want something with a lighter tip. And then something with throwing these jigs would be a heavier one. So something would be like call it a 4 to 10 pound, maybe something like that in the lighter stuff, and then maybe something like a 6 to 12 or 8 to 17 for the jig. So, if you were going to fish hardcore and you wanted to have two dedicated, different setups. But if you just wanted to do the one, I'd probably just do the heavier one.
Yeah.
And it'd be a little bit heavy for the bait, but it still would work.
It still works.
But you probably want to be able to take care of your jig fishing better. That light rod would probably be too light to throw the jigs real good.
I was doing the morning briefing this morning. I looked down and I saw some guys down in the surf, and there's these Vietnamese guy. One guy's name is Peter. He's a super cool guy. He taught me all about the sandworms and where to find them and how to get them, and I learned from him. It wasn't them, but if it was them, I'm telling you right now, if those guys are down there, they're putting the wood to the spot fin croaker. They are good fishermen. And so I was just looking, I go, oh man, here we go. And it wasn't him. So I've got his phone number, I can call him. But I'm getting excited about the surf because tomorrow should be good, man. It looks good. The water's cold. So maybe we're picking barred perch. But you should be able to pick a few yellowfin croaker, maybe a halibut. There's a grunion run tomorrow night. So have you taken Luna and Diego grunion hunting?
No.
You got to do that one of these times.
Yeah.
I'll call you.
Up a little bit.
Yeah, I know, because it's miserable down there at night.
Yeah, it's cold, yeah.
Yeah, it really is. Although this weekend sounds like it might be better. All right, Jeff Fuchs, does he sell island T-shirts? Of course he sells them, yes.
Yeah.
How much? Or do you want to expand on that?
There's a couple different ones. Yeah, we got one that's like just a single color. I don't have it here, but then we have some that are like multicolor. They have like an American flag or Rasta or something like that. And they're between like 15 and 20 bucks, depending on which one.
Slammin' Sammy. We love Slammin' Sammy. Great guy. He's always with us. Hello, Friedman Adventures family. Great idea for the show, fellas. Can you show me how to choose a good surface iron? Oh, Slammin' Sammy's going to get Sam up again. What to look for? He wants to know what to look for as we surge up past 80 viewers now and continue to build, Sam. So what do you look for in a surface iron?
Well,
you're not going to run away, huh? You're going to just use what you got in front of you.
What I was going to say is, honestly, I, the other day, just by chance, I was checking out the video that you did with Joey and Taddy.
Yeah.
And he probably has the best explanation on it. Offset hips, offset holes, things like that. Is probably your best thing.
Was that his podcast? That he did with me? Yeah, over at 27. Okay, yeah.
I would probably refer to that one there. I mean, get once we get into this jig fishing, I'd probably watch that video a few times and kind of see what he's talking about on that. I think there was a section in there, maybe 15, 20 minutes, where he was talking about that really extensively. And so I really would refer to that. I'll grab one jig and just kind of give a little.
I think you were saying while you walk over there, I think people can still hear you unless you get too far, but you were saying if you're going to pick two jigs, get a light color and a dark color, no matter what the color combination was. Do I remember that correctly or not?
Yeah.
I thought that's what you said. So, and man, surface iron, I mean, we should be right around the corner catching some barracuda and yellows when they bite on the surface iron. That's all fun stuff too.
Yeah.
So here we go.
So here's a couple jigs here. And you think, okay, well, these are both the same here. But something like blue and white, is a basic one. And the other one's a scrambled egg. But if you could see on the back of the jig here, there's a couple differences here you'll see between this one and that one there. Is that, and it's easier to see from the back. I'll look at the price on that one too. Got to change that.
I know. What are you doing, man?
So if you hold it here, hold it from the middle there.
Yeah.
No. Like
Oh.
hold yours.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
holding mine. So you'll see how one's pointy and one's kind of flat, or blunt on the nose there.
Yes.
So that's
Yeah.
one of the big differences you'll see here is one is going to fish or swim differently at a different speed. Typically, the pointy one's a little bit faster wind, and then the blunt one's a little bit slower wind. So sometimes, the fish want it one way, sometimes they want it another. So if you want to try one jig at a faster wind, you try something like this. One at a slower wind, you'll try something like that.
Oh, that is a good tip you're giving everybody.
That's a real easy there, yeah.
Yeah.
You'll see on this one here that it has, I don't know if it's easy to see, but where the pointy sides of the hips
Yeah.
are a little bit offset. That's kind of another thing that people look for. And then also, too, you'll see that the holes are not in the very center of the edge there. Now, after watching that video, and even before, I know that talking with Taddy, that they've made an effort to really kind of make all their molds make a jig like this. They're basically 2 or 3 different patterns, but really have the accents like the hips and the holes, be offset because they already know that that's what people are looking for. But just like Joey was talking about, every jig will swim. It's really about knowing how to make it swim. And earlier we were talking about reel speed, 6 to 1 or 4.8 to 1. And really getting used to a certain amount of resistance, you'll kind of feel like the jig feels like a certain weight in your hand. It's kind of hard to describe, but
Yeah.
but you're gonna find that you're going to develop a feel for how much resistance a jig is creating in the water. That's your good swimming speed for that jig.
Yeah.
And there's really no formula to it. Because you can't set your reel and push the number 7.
Right.
And say that, well, this jig's a number 7, this jig's a number 3. It doesn't work that way. It just through time you'll kind of learn.
Muscle memory almost.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, and it's experimentation,
It
right?
is, and it's one of those things that it is a journey, as far as getting to where you get comfortable with something like that. And some guys are better at
Oh,
than
man.
others.
Some guys are good jig fishermen, right?
Okay. So I'll have a box of jigs like this, right? These happens to be a box of 7Xs. Well, let's just say on a certain day, I'm fishing this jig here or this jig here, and it gets a lot of follows, and I get a few fish on it, right? Well, now I know this jig's a good swimmer.
Yeah.
So my habit is that I'll go back out again on another trip, go out next weekend or whatever, and I bring the same box of jigs. And since I caught some fish on this one, well, I'll tie this one on first, almost always.
Yeah, right. It works, right?
Yeah, because it works. I already caught fish last week,
Yeah.
so I'm going to try it again. Now, let's just say, a couple guys catch some fish on bait, and I still haven't gotten any follows. Maybe I'll switch it up, and I'll try this guy here afterward to see how that one works. But typically, if I don't catch something on this guy, I'll go right back to the one that I caught fish on last time. So when I say bad for me, I think I really get attached to that jig, and I'll fish it almost, or at least I'll make sure that jig is in my box every time I go until I lose it.
Yeah.
So I'll fish it hard. And then after that, I'll find another confidence jig, and then I'll just tie that one on. That's going to be my primary jig. So a lot of it is really doing it often enough to where you just gain that confidence in that jig. And now you have so much confidence in it that if you see some fish pop up or you see some birds picking,
You're going to get bit.
you're like, okay, I'm going with my confidence jig, and I'm going to get bit right
Yeah.
there. And more often than not, you'll find that once you have that confidence in that one jig, that you do get those follows, or you do get bit a lot more.
So is it because the jig is a good jig, or is it the confidence that you have? And if it is the confidence, how does that translate into a bite?
I
Can
don't
you put
know.
your finger on
You
it?
just can't.
I
You
know,
just-
right?
I mean, that's one of the things about fishing in general.
Yeah.
That is cool, just to kind of develop that, and it's ever growing. And on some days you're more confident than others. Maybe you're distracted by work or distracted by something going on at home, and so maybe that day you just can't really click on it, And that's what reason we go fishing is to kind of forget all that stuff.
Right.
Forget about work, but really getting in the zone is what jig fishing is about, and really focusing on your jig swimming action, and that takes time, before you really know what that's supposed to look like in the water. But so I think the confidence comes from knowing that what you're looking at in the water is that jig's swimming good.
Yeah.
And I'm going to just keep at it till I get a bite.
Yeah. And it works.
And it happens often enough that you start gaining that confidence through that.
Makes sense. Hey, everybody, you're joining us for the debut of our new show. We don't even know what the name of it is quite yet, but it's on Friedman Adventures. Sam de La Torre here from Island Fishing Tackle. The premise, the idea of the show is that we're in a tackle store, Island Fishing Tackle in Carson. So whatever it is you want to see or ask Sam about, he's a pro. He can tell you all about it. And I can do the Vanna White stuff here also. So it's all good stuff. All right, Jeff Fuchs says, hi, Phil. Sam, love the new show. Maybe you have a vendor come once in a while, show off some Opsin or Penn or something like that, an idea that we both had. So we think, yeah, who knows where
Who knows?
who knows? Like Sam and I said before we came on, he looked at me and says, well, I asked him, I go, what's your plan for tonight? He goes, I thought you had a plan. So the plan was the Friedman Adventure family would carry us through this.
And that's what's happening, yeah.
Yeah, and that's the way, I mean, because maybe what we have planned is not what our audience wants to hear. This way they get to tell us what they want to hear. And you're great. You're running all around. Steve Bermuda says, great choice on the reel speed. You can always slow down a 6-to-1, but you can't speed up a 4-to-1.
Yeah, that's kind of what people say, yeah. But it's really whatever you're comfortable with winding on, to me.
Jeff Fuchs wants to know what the price for the boots is again.
$75.
What sizes are? Do you have 13 wide?
Well, they don't make a wide and a narrow, but I do have a 13.
All right, you got a 13. Jeff, you better get over here.
And if you fit a 14, you get the extra discount.
Yeah. All right, perfect. Jimmy Gutierrez says hello. Jimmy, great to have you with us, my friend. Aaron just got a 14. Jeff, the on sale. So maybe talking about a 14 boot, right? Those are mine.
Yeah.
You're saving those for me, right?
Yeah.
We're going to take those out of the box so you can see them in just a moment. Then I'm going to put them in my pile of unboxed stuff. Dan Smith, who's a wonderful guy, and his wife, Kim, eats 4 things. I think it's 4 things. You ready for her diet?
I'm ready.
I'm right there with her. Butter, bacon, 5 things. Cheese, eggs, and meat.
All right.
And she's never felt healthier. My son Patrick eats salt, steak, and water.
That's it.
2 months. Says, I've never had so much energy, Dad. And I'm leaning toward carnivore, but mostly keto, and I feel great. And you've lost a lot of weight, man.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about, you're going to laugh, but, I have that, my email is walkwithphil@gmail.com because I lost weight walking in China. I'm thinking about, what happened there? I'll have to run over
off,
there.
yeah.
I'm thinking about, like, taking people through a journey with me on walking and eating and, who knows, I'm getting hooked on doing YouTube.
Pizza.
Yeah, pizza. The man is hungry. Do you love him or not? Come on.
No, you're talking about what you're eating all the time.
Yeah, really. Yeah. So anyway, I was talking about Dan because he has a question, and his wife. Sam, do you recommend sizing up on boots so that they will come off easier if you end up in the water? That's not a bad idea in a way. It's a real possibility for me. I miss with the gaff. Kim will throw me over the side. Yes, it is a possibility because
Yeah, that's a good
with him, I mean, Kim will throw him over the side.
I think we used to talk about that before. Especially crew members would buy exercise big.
So you kick them off, so they don't fill with water and you sink.
Right. I haven't seen too many people fall in the water. But
Yeah,
I don't know about
I haven't seen anybody. I don't think.
I've never seen anybody.
Commercial guys, it's a different story.
Commercial thing that's different. You're going in rough water, things like that, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard of guys, and I had a dear friend who fell over, but that wouldn't have saved him. But not a bad idea. Definitely worth thinking about. Steve Bermudez. Steve says, attention all anglers, if you decide to upgrade your tackle rods and reels, donate the old ones to a kids program like the Dan Hernandez Youth Foundation and Friends of Rollo. Very good sage advice. Why not, right?
Yeah.
Helping the kids out. It's always good. Let's see. Somebody says primo to you.
Primo.
Yeah, I know what that means. I speak
that's his
Spanish.
name.
Oh, primo. Primo, what does he say?
Fish. He's got a little fish.
Hermano, primo, gracias. Un pescado. Okay, thank you for helping me through that. I'm getting dingy here. Fish guy, do they make the extra boy, everybody's nuts about these extra tubs.
Yeah.
In white so they reflect heat. I love my original brown extra tough boots, but they are worn out and they get hot in the sun in the afternoon. Love the show from the shop. Me too.
Yeah. I think that Extra Tough makes a shrimp boot like that. I don't know if it's the same like the ones we use out here, but I haven't really seen any stores that carry them. It's kind of a real specific boot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
White boots. I don't know about. Would you wear white boots?
No.
Why? It's just weird, right?
Yeah.
There's something funny about it.
Yeah, I'm just
I don't know
I
what
don't
it
want
is
to be like,
either.
I don't want to be negative, but I wouldn't wear them.
No, and there's nothing against this guy, but yeah,
Yeah.
there's something weird. I don't know if it comes from us being in the industry.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
there's something about it. I don't know what it is. Hey, the corpse is back. Hey, Sam, you having any deals on lobster gear since the season is over? Or are you saving all the inventory for when it starts up again next year?
No. If you wanted
Trying
to
to
buy
get rid
some
of it?
lobster gear, I mean, I don't have it sitting out front right here. Actually, it's all in the back. But if you needed to buy some lobster gear, or you just want to load up before next year, I'd be happy to give you some type of good discount. But nothing that I have like out here up front, you know. But yeah, definitely come down if you're looking to just load up and get a deal for next year. Come on down, I'll give you a deal for sure.
Jeff Fuchs says, mention Friedman Adventures and get a 10% off promo. You have to
be
try
done.
that. Yeah. Send a pizza and he'll do it, Jeff. Daniel says, do you know if a boat from 22nd Street Landing is going for the bluefin tuna yet, Phil? No, I don't think so.
Not quite yet.
There's a spotter plane going up tomorrow, and there's some juicy looking areas.
You're not supposed to talk about that.
I'm not supposed to be specific about it.
Oh,
I
okay.
can mention that there's a spotter
All
plane
right.
going up. Thank you. I'm not going to divulge
Easy.
anything more about the pilot or anything else.
Oh,
We're
come
not-
on.
No,
You're already
no.
talking too much.
Yeah, I am. Anyway, yeah, I am.
Yes.
Shut up, Phil. Cállate, Felipe.
Got it right here.
Yeah. Anyway, there's nobody's going out of
No airplane,
22nd Street.
no.
Nothing. Yeah, there's no airplanes.
Yeah.
In fact, they haven't been invented yet. All right, Jeff, new sponsor, Island. What do you mean new sponsor? These guys been with me for the beginning, haven't you? Yeah, he's an official part of the show. Nice new mics, Phil.
Like
Hey,
those?
yeah, they
they
sound
work.
good.
Yeah.
They sound good, everybody. I hope so, because now we can follow Sam anywhere he goes. Great show, gents. Look forward to many more like this. Man, this show is a hit right out of the gate, pushing 100 listeners now. Yeah, we're just creaming. It was up to 90-something a second ago. Hit that like button. Please subscribe to the channel. It makes Sam and I go home with big smiles on our faces. All right, Steve Bermudez, if only, I think Phil would have ran his interview with Warren before the show ended, he might have had more sales. Why don't you butt out, Steve? How was I going to run it before? He wasn't here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could have flew out to England, maybe.
You know, I don't even care that you got me these free lures now at this point. Unbox the lures. I'll unbox something.
Well, we sold hundreds of those things. I mean, honestly, I was blown away. You know, I mean, I was really happy for him. I was really happy that it worked out, but we sold a ton of those things. He did such a good job.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
And you can see it. I at least I feel like when I rewatched to hear the sounds okay and everything. I basically don't watch my stuff again because I'm over it.
Yeah.
But I really enjoy
Me
watching
too.
that guy. Yeah, I know. Yeah, you never watch it. Makes you. That's how you manage to lose so much weight. You see me up there and get sick to your stomach. Is that it? Yeah, that's the key right there. All right, Steve Bermudez. Oh no. All right, so Steve said that. Primo, disculpa me because I didn't get what was going on. Do you carry the Pakula Witch Doctor?
Pakula. No, I
Pakula
don't.
Witch Doctor. What is that?
That's a teaser type thing here. It's
Oh.
made out of wood. It kind of has some angles to it. You throw it in the water. It's got these mirrors.
Yeah.
And so from far away, it looks like bait.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's kind of cool.
I've actually seen those in the water. They are pretty freaking cool. Like if you didn't know it was in the water already, and you walked out of
You'd think it was bait.
You would think there would be a fish down there.
Wow.
It's that it has that much action.
Are they
so.
expensive?
Shoot, I haven't dealt with one in a while.
Are-
But I would imagine $150, $200.
Are they
like that.
effective? They
Yeah,
get bit a lot?
So it's just a teaser.
Yeah.
You tie it off to a
Oh,
rope.
okay.
Yeah, you tie it off to the rope, cleat, and just put it in the water. Some guys put like 2, 3 in the water. And so it's really more of a
Marlin?
attractive-
Is it a marlin
I
teaser?
think it's more of
or-
a marlin thing, but
Yeah.
I mean, who knows with this big bluefin? Maybe something.
They might come up on it too. They
Maybe.
slide a
Just
bait
check
to
it
them
out.
and boom,
Yeah, yeah.
right? Or yeah. All right, cool.
I don't sell them here, unfortunately.
Primo, thanks for educating me. I didn't know what that was. Jeff wants to know, does Sam build rods?
I do build rods.
You do actually, or you make everybody else there build them?
Well, I build my own rods. Yeah. You don't want my rods. Anyway, yeah. Rod guides are gonna fall out.
But
yeah,
I guess
at
Jeff
the
is asking,
shop.
can he come here and get a rod built?
Yeah. I mean, that's not really our main deal, even though we sell all the rod parts in the world. But we do build rods here. I mean, but I will say that because we are so busy in the shop, all the guys who build rods also work in the shop, and just helping customers and stuff like that. So we're not really fast on it, but the guys do really good work. I got 3 guys that work here that build rods for us, and they do a really really good job. But we're really busy, so
It sounds like something at the end of the season you say, hey, I'm going to build some rods for next season.
yeah,
Then you've
we
got
do some
6
of that
months to
too.
do it, right?
Well, I mean, yeah, in a way, but I don't know about 6 months, but yeah.
You what? You can't turn them over that quickly? Is that
No,
what you
yeah,
mean?
it's a pretty short amount of time there.
That's funny. All right, and Jeff says, what I meant about wrapping my rods is if you use rail rods, do you have to wrap them to protect them from damage from that new tool? That thing there.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't think so. I mean, it doesn't seem like that thing's very abrasive at all. So it's polished stainless. So I think you'd be fine. In my opinion, you'd be fine.
All right, everybody, hit that like button. If you're just joining us, it's a brand new show, Tackle Shop Confessions. What's the other names that we've
I
had?
don't
Something with Sam.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. The idea is that you ask Sam tackle questions. He's got a whole beautiful tackle store that he can run out and grab stuff. And you've been doing a great job. It's been very instructional. And as one person said, Israel de la Cruz it was, man, when this bike gets going, you're going to be able to say, here's the jig you need tonight.
Yeah.
You're at 22nd Street Landing right now. Here's the jig you need. Go in there and pull Mike Morrison's beard.
I'm going to say, how many 100 do you have of these?
Yeah.
This is the one you want.
Absolutely. All right. Let's see. Face Too Much OG. With all glass 9-foot jig stick, what do you recommend for tossing iron for yellowtail and tuna around San Diego local waters? I'm thinking about a 90J, but worried it may be too much for smaller jigs. Thoughts?
No, it's fine. It's a pretty versatile jig. Jig rod. With jig rods in general, it's probably also too important to kind of try to be practice with the different size jigs, and you'll find that maybe one rod, kind of like how we were talking about, the star drag reels versus the lever drag reels. Yeah, you might get a little more distance with a rod that's more appropriate for a smaller jig, but it's not that much of a difference. So I would stick with the heavier rod, even though your distance might be cut a little bit short, but because you want to have a rod that's going to be able to fight a big fish. If you're talking about fishing for tuna or something like that. So that 90J, if you want to do all glass, is pretty dang good.
Tim Marquez says, never fished the surf, so I'm learning a lot from you guys right now. And Tim, at the end of tomorrow's morning briefing, I won't be able to fish the surf like I normally do because I move a lot. I make like kind of 5 casts, roll casts. I cover a zone, and then if I'm not getting bit, I move. I'm looking for birds. I'm looking for structure. I'm looking for all that. I'm pretty much going to finish the morning briefing tomorrow and then
Go fish.
make 10 casts, 15 casts, see if I can hang something tomorrow. But you get a little bit of an idea of how to fish these lures tomorrow. I'll be really excited to do that, so that should be a lot of fun. All right, Blake, you thought you were going to get out of here tonight. You're not going anywhere. Blake Tyler, dang, that Mexican flag 7X is hot. Where is that?
This guy right here.
Oh, yeah. That is hot, man. I didn't even notice it was a Mexican flag jig. That's bitching. Of course, there was, in the day, albacore feathers were like that. Remember that? Mexican flag got bit a lot. And
ooh, look at these. I shouldn't be showing these because it's not something that...
They're not available.
That he doesn't...
Yeah, but they're kind of... I mean, are they around anymore? I saw one of the kids here wanted to get his grimy hands on them today.
Yeah, they're just colors that he's made in the past. I'm sure if I asked Matt Salas, he'd make me some Mexican flags. So if you guys want a Mexican flag, let me know. If 6 guys say they want it, I'll have them make.
Oh,
6,
man, how about 60 guys?
Even 60 would be even better, yeah.
Yeah, right on.
There's only 10 people watching. I don't know how that's going to happen.
All right, Jeff. Yeah, really. Jeff Fuchs, do you sell bucktails, B-52, Dan Hernandez stuff? I think it is, right?
Yep.
I saw Dan. Did you see our Three Stooges photo?
No.
I put, it was Dan Hernandez, myself, and Frank Ursetti. And I put Three Stooges on there. So when I walked into the show the second day, Frank Ursetti goes, I saw that, man. You know, it's funny. Anyway, let's see. The legendary Mexican flag, says Blake Tyler. Aaron, that's what I'm aiming for now. Where am I now?
I think you missed this guy here, Michael Ortega.
Oh, did I? Michael Ortega. Oh, I did. Accurate reels and Seeker rods only. Sam takes all my money. That and Los Alamitos racetrack, right? Okay, and then Aaron says, that's why I'm aiming for now. Michael Ortega, my 4th year of fishing, got hooked in 2019. Man, Aaron, welcome to the club, man, right? All of us have that, and you'll never get it out of your blood. Tim Marquez, confidence comes from learning from shows like this and getting out on the water. Thanks, guys. Tim, man, you're always there for us. I can't thank you enough. Sincerely, it means a lot. Mike Trunk wants to know, you got size 12?
Maybe. Let me see here. I'll have to look here. Some of these are turned around, but
Yeah, you've got it. You know,
Probably got
you
it.
can always
Probably
tell
got
him
it.
you sold out when he gets in there and sell him something else. Just kidding, Mike. All right, Michael Ortega bought my first accurate reel from Sam back in the day. I've been hooked on them ever since. Accurate makes a great product,
Yeah.
right? Chris Navarro, great show. Phil and Sam, I am. Thank you so much, Christopher. Ruben Lopez, Sam and Phil, Tackle Talk, new show. Name. Great show, guys. Thank you so much, Ruben, who is a Patreon member and a great guy and a wonderful person. Tim Marquez, the Pangueros in Loreto wear white boots, maybe because of the heat. What do you think? Do they wear white boots down there?
Yeah. I've seen that before, yeah.
I think I have too. Yeah. Well, you're still not doing it, huh?
No.
Even though you like the Pangueros in Laredo
I love
and
them,
everywhere
yeah.
else.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm not either. I'm not doing that. All right, Anthony Amalfitano, another great guy. Call light gray extra tough ankle boots is great.
Yeah, I think they actually do have some light gray color.
Yeah?
Yep.
All right, Israel de la Cruz. Your answers are becoming shorter now. Are you getting tired or something?
Trying to catch up. We got like
I know.
50 questions ago. Yeah.
Oh, what do you want? I'm waiting for the pizza to
you guys are
arrive.
going to leave before we answer.
Killing time. They're not going anywhere, man. All right, Israel, or is it Israel? No, it's, where are we now?
Yeah.
Israel de la Cruz. So what's your go-to knife jigs for tuna, and how would you rig them? Uh-oh. Something tells me it's getting too late for you to go get a knife jig and rig it right now.
I'm not going to rig it, but let me just show you 2 jigs.
Okay. Why aren't you going to rig
Commercial.
it? Yeah. Oh, commercial. And don't forget, everybody, April the 13th, we'll be at the Redondo Beach Rod and Gun Club in Redondo Beach, California. We'll have a live presentation, the Danny Cadoto Show. Danny's been in this business so many years. He does such a great job. He's so knowledgeable, and he's a really good guy. That show will go from 6 to 7 in the evening, and it will be followed by Bill Wilkerson, the owner-operator of the Horizon, as well as the Malahini. It's going to be a great show. Then, that's followed up by April the 15th at Santa Ana River Lakes, Friedman Adventures, and Redondo Beach Rod and Gun Club. Combined, are you coming yet? I'm running out of air here. Combined for a great day for kids at Santa Ana River Lakes, 8 a.m. until 2 p.m. We've got raffle tickets for sale for you. We have lunch for you. And most importantly, we have knot tying and learning how to trout fish for the kids. That's April 15th at Santa Ana River Lakes with Friedman Adventures and the Redondo Beach Rod and Gun Club.
All righty. Let's get these out of here.
Yeah, okay. Vanna White's got to get to work again, right?
So as far as jigs here, I mean, a go-to jig, it's probably wanted me to show you the one jig that's going to catch you your fish of a lifetime, but
Yeah.
there's a few jigs here. Kind of wanted to go like small to big. What I kind of wanted to show you guys was that you really want to have a variety of sizes, I just kind of...
If you want me to hold one up while you're talking about it, just tell me.
I just kind of wanted to show that you want to take a variety of sizes. Even though I actually grabbed 2 of these red ones, which were really popular, but the color isn't as important. More the size of the jig. As far as the rigging is concerned, we use these heavy-duty bite leaders here. That we've been talking about before here. We did some videos on that, and we basically just split ring.
You're going to rig one?
Well,
You said you weren't going to do it.
I know.
I love it, man. What a show. This was whose idea was this again?
That was my idea.
Oh, yeah, it was. I forgot.
About 9 o'clock.
No, was it?
I'll tell my wife.
Yeah, she's going to kill you. Wednesday nights, we're never going to see you again?
Pretty
For
much.
how long? Yeah. You should say hello to your wife and kids. Are they watching, or are they doing their homework
I
or
didn't let them
something?
know that they were coming on, so they probably don't know.
Oh, okay.
I could text them now or something.
No, you can. I'm reading questions.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
So
because we didn't get that working. Well, it kind of works.
kind of works.
Yeah, we'll figure that out next
So
time.
basically, you'll put the jig on the hook. This is a Mustad, heavy duty assist hook. Put that right on the end of that leader, like that, and then we'll grab a jig here. Grab this guy here.
Adriana is your wife?
Yeah.
We're watching.
We're watching. All right.
Diego,
Cool.
Luna, Adriana. Love you guys.
Hope you guys had a great time today.
I'm trying to get him home to you, but he has so many fans out there, so many people who love him. I don't know if we're going to be able to do it before midnight.
So now you're just going to attach the leader that has the hook on there to the top of the jig, and you're ready to go. You could always add another hook to the bottom, and some guys, I know that through the different videos and different comments and different, boats, they like it one way or another, but I would have no problem fishing this jig just like that.
Just one hook.
Just like that,
Yeah.
yeah. And, I know it's caught enough big fish over the years. On these bigger jigs like this, I know a lot of guys will put some hooks on the bottom just because it's a bigger jig, but even then, on this size jig, the bigger one, it'd be just fine, just to fish it just like that. So this is pretty much rigged, ready to go right there.
Okay, perfect.
It's that easy.
These questions that are coming up don't look. It's like it requires
Delete.
Yeah, it requires you running around a lot, and the show is going downhill rapidly because about 6 questions down, Scott Buchert has jumped on now.
Yeah, we can skip a few questions. It's okay.
We can't do that. Maybe Scott we can
Yeah.
skip. Yeah. All right. So here we go. Tony. Hi guys. Question: what would be 3 setups to take between overnight and day and a half trips? Rod, reel, and line setups. Thank you, Tony, for a great question.
Light, medium, and heavy.
Yeah. Right. Okay, Tony. Thanks.
No, well, it depends on where you're going out of. If we're talking going on the Freedom, you said overnight. Is that what you said?
Overnight or day and a half.
So yeah, I mean, the one thing is you're going.
Boy, we've really opened a can of
Well,
worms.
yeah, that's kind of a really deep question. We could probably do a whole video on just that. Because
Should we do that?
We could.
Okay.
We could, yeah, because depending on where you're going to go out of, what time of year.
You're trying to get out of running around and picking these outfits up right now, right?
We don't even have to have like 10 tables,
Yeah.
But you might go on, let's say on a rockfish trip, you might take rockfish stuff. You might go on a trip where you catch, from calico bass, yellowtail, white sea bass. That's a different kind of rigs. And then you go to San Diego, catch tuna. You're going to be fishing all kinds of different stuff. So, so I'll just address something like if you're fishing on the Freedom 22nd Street Landing, let's say, May or June, and fishing the islands, I would want to take a bass setup, something with a bait caster, 8-foot rod, with a 400 size bait caster with about 50-pound braid. The next one would be a straight live bait setup, something like a Saltis 35 or a Trinidad 16 with some 65-pound braid or 50-pound braid even, and fish live bait with like 20 or 25 or 30-pound test, and then I take a jig rod. Those would be the 3. And the jig rod would be something like a 9 or 10-foot rod with a Trinidad 20 or Saltis 40 or something like that, So that's a real broad, easy 1, 2, 3 for overnight fishing.
And I'm going to let you get away with that because I just scanned down. There's like 40 more questions.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's like brutal. So I kind of want to get out of here before midnight, too. Yeah. All right. So here we go. That was great. Thank you, Tony. Anthony Malfitano. Say, Sam, great to see you guys. Quick question. Thank God. Do you like to run a longer dropper loop lead or even cut your loop when fishing for white sea bass?
Yeah.
Which one?
No, I do a longer.
Well, that's
dropper
it.
loop,
Bye,
yeah.
Anthony.
Longer dropper loop.
Why do you do that?
Just
I'm not
what
going
I've
to
always
let you
done.
get away.
Yeah, just what I've always done. But I think what he's talking about, a lot of guys do.
Yeah.
And I've seen it, work pretty well. That's just what I've always done. So, yeah, I like doing a long dropper loop.
All right, you're going to love this one. Michael Ortega. Got a few custom rods from Sam, and they are fire.
There you go.
Right? No question. None. You don't have to run and get anything.
Thanks,
And
Mike.
he's being very nice to you. So
Super nice guy. I've known that guy for probably 15 years now, something like that. And he's been a great customer, cool guy, great friend. He's just a really, really nice guy.
Michael Ortega,
And I
I
found your other
salute
reel.
you.
Mike, I found your other Valiant reel. We found it. I think we might have put line on it already, so it's ready to go. So I'll give you a call tomorrow on it.
Perfect. Hey, Michael, welcome to the Friedman Adventure family. Thank you for being here tonight. And if you're a friend of Sam's, you're an awesome guy. I know that. All right, Scott Buchert, here we go.
Here we go.
How heavy of line do you use for the bombs? Where are your favorite? What are your favorite bombs? Yeah.
My
Is he talking like a
favorites-
terrorist attack thing or something, or what's he talking about?
I use 40 pound.
Yeah.
You know, I would say most guys use 50, but 40 or 50 is fine. And as far as my favorite, you know, the catchy tackle bombs, probably what I use the most. But the JRI Huicide bombs are pretty dang good too.
Okay, Scott is asking these questions. I happen to know because he's on. Yeah, this fall he's on a 10-day trip.
Oh, Scott, you got to come down. We got to get you wahoo.
Yeah, right.
I love wahoo fishing.
Yeah. Okay, so you can, and you did some great wahoo videos.
Yeah. Just watch the video.
Yeah, Scott, stay away. Just watch the video. No, you want Scott. You love Scott, don't you?
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Sure he is. Yeah, right. All right, so Scott has another question, and that is, how long is a good one? Oh, Scott, we can't answer. This is a family show. How long is a good one? Who ride? Oh, a rod. He wants to know how long the rod should be for a while.
Honestly, you know, I mean, it really isn't like a standard length. I personally use a longer rod than most people. I like using the 9-foot rod.
Yeah.
But I would say most guys, most common 7 to 8 foot is probably the most common.
Yeah. Hey, these are pretty quick questions now. I'm kind of liking this. Does Island Tackle sell ballyhoo?
I don't. We have carried it in the past. We get it from the East Coast. We'll have to see. You know, a lot of it has to do with the marlin tournaments and stuff like that. There really hasn't been too many. A lot of it have been canceled these last couple of years, but kind of turned more to tuna fishing. But you know, if somebody wants me to get them some, I can. There is kind of a minimum. I got to buy like a whole cooler full of them.
Oh yeah,
from over there. But the times that we brought them in, we have sold them for those tournaments. Though.
Yeah. So Tony says tackle Sam. I don't know if he wants me to tackle you or that's the name of the show.
Tackle Sam. I guess.
Yeah, tackle Sam. I like it. Scott Buchert, what is a good wahoo rod and reel?
Once again, you know, I would say an 8-foot rod. You know, a CalStar 800H, something like that. And I still like a single speed star drag reel, like the Trinidad 20. But something in that line, you know. I mean, it doesn't have to be exactly that. But something rated, I would say, you know, 30 to 80 and a rod, 7.5 to 8 foot. And then a reel like a Trinidad 20 size.
All right, Fish Guys thanking Tim Marquez. Thanks for the info. I like to be comfy on the water. I have wide feet too, so I thought maybe Extra Tough might have some new products that would address that. And those are the
wheelhouse.
The wheelhouse, that's right. All right, perfect. Anthony Malfitano, every time I have to go to the tackle shop, I told my wife, I always say going to the tackle shop instead of the taco shop, right? Yeah. Perfect. Yeah, you can get away with that. Spy balloon, Phil, says Jeff Hughes. Matt Hill, are the 6-inch Nomad Mad Max any good? Any feedback on those?
So those are the brand new size. It's a small size.
Yeah.
No feedback yet. There hasn't been any fishing to use them yet, you know. So I would say for now there hasn't been anybody to have even tried them yet. Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm sure they'll be good.
I think they'll bite. Yeah, right? Why wouldn't
they'll
they?
be good.
Sometimes they're on that smaller bait anyway,
Right,
and they're,
right,
you know, right?
right.
So that's probably where it'll come in really effectively. Scott Buchert is back again. Scott hasn't said what I told you he was going to say on tonight's show, has he? What did I tell you he was going to say?
I don't remember.
You're great and I suck.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it might be down below.
It goes without saying.
Yeah. You, man, I'm telling you. And this question, I have answered this question for Scott 475,000 times.
What did you tell him? What was the answer?
I'm not answering again. I'm going to let
say
you
it.
answer
Just
it.
give a number.
I'm sick of it. Oh, well, he wants to know how many rods to bring
Well, what
on a
would you
9-day trip. I would say, myself, at least 8.
Yeah, I would say 10 rods.
Yeah.
No problem.
Right?
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Anthony Malfitano, sorry to disappoint you guys, but that's an Italian flag.
That is disappointing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, both.
I don't know.
Well, I know those are. That's the Italian
yeah.
flag and the Mexican flag.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly where the colors go on the Mexican. Is that it or?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Oh, well, Anthony's Italian. That's why I'm saying
right.
that. Yeah. All right. Scott Buchert. Oh, look, he had said it.
See?
Sam is way better than Philip. You little crook, Scott. I'm going to get, thanks, Scott. What are you, you're encouraging him. Don't do that. Christopher Navarro, let's do another jigs only trip, Sam. We got to do that. We talked about doing a jig casting thing in the morning and then jumping on the Monte Carlo.
Yep.
And Mike was like pretty close to like where the Freedom docks using that, but he had to get permission, make sure the insurance covered Scott poking somebody's eye out with a jig or something like that. So yeah, we should do that, man. Let's plan something like that. All right, Hobob77, talking to you, Anthony Amalfitano, could be the Iranian, Bulgarian, Belarus, Hungarian, Lebanese, and Madagascar flag also. Are they all that same?
I guess.
Yeah, excellent observation. Oh, and Oman also. So thank you so much. Very interesting knowledge of all these flags. Look, Sam. Look, you see what we got?
Yeah, it's getting close.
We're getting close. Yeah, aren't you enjoying this?
I love it.
All right, perfect. Steve Bermudez. Sam needs to get a step counter so when the doctor asks him, did he get any exercise this week? I guess running around on this show, right? Fish Guy. The Fishing or Tackle Cave with Sam and Phil.
It's all right.
I like that. Yeah. There's so many good ones, you know. And when I finally choose one, I'm going to say that you chose it, so you take all the heat. And that's going to be it. But, hey, you guys are awesome. Thanks for chipping in here and had a huge crowd so far tonight. We're not through. Man, I'm getting, like, I thought there'd be a knock by now and a pizza would be here and I could scrape off a little bit.
Wait until it comes, right?
Yeah, that's what they probably want. Well, 3 o'clock in the morning, we'll still be jabbering. All right, let's see. Daniel says, what's the best river to cast in iron, Sam, and feel what you think? What's the best? I'm sure he's voicing it, so it came out wrong. What's the best river?
Rod?
What's the best rod to cast in iron, Sam? And maybe, I don't know. Can you
feel what you think?
Yeah.
The best reel to cast in iron.
Yeah, why don't you just take that? What's one of the best?
Yeah, you say Trinidad 20. I mean, I would say for most of the diehard jig fishermen, the Trinidad 20 is probably the kind of the go-to reel.
All right, perfect.
Or river.
All right. Yeah, really. Israel De La Cruz. I'll buy the jig Sam rigged since he went out of his way to do it. He'll buy that jig, man.
Ready to go, right here.
Israel's a great guy, by the way.
Yeah.
Super. Have you met him?
Yeah.
Yeah, I always ask you these questions, and you always say the same thing. Yeah, I met him.
Of course.
And then you go back and explain to me, and then I go, oh, yeah, you're right. I forgot. Scott Buchert is back saying, notice he leaves my name out of this comment now. Sam, this is the best show.
Yeah.
Yeah, all because no. I know this little crook. Rocket Dog. Haven't seen him for a long time. What's up, Rocket Dog? Good to see you here. Jonathan Jones, you are going to need that Wednesday coffee bot so you can end the day like you started. Sport Fishing Gold. Thanks, guys. Thank you, Jonathan, so very much for being here. We have a bunch of guys who follow us so closely. You're a huge part of it, Sam. Your ratings, or whatever you want to call it, are always sky high, man. You're great. You're knowledgeable, and you're a good person. And you paid me a lot to say that. So, yes, it's all true.
Paid him one jig right here.
Yeah, right. You're going to take it away now?
Oh, it's stuck.
Yeah, good. Leave it there. See, you're trying to take my jig. Leave it alone. Sniper Gene, show name suggestion. Tackle Talk with Sam.
Simple?
Yeah. Well, you know, I always think when you're naming a show, I mean, you don't want to fool people. Some people come up with these cute names, and you're like, well, what the hell is the show about?
Yeah.
Tackle Talk with Sam is perfectly illustrative of what we're doing here. All right, Joe Sirwall, if you bought some knife jigs and some other fast-sinking jigs, what the go-to hook that you, Sam, would use? What's the go-to hook that you would use? Are you switching out the factory hooks? If so, what's your go-to for the bigger tuna, Sam?
Yeah, definitely. I would say, by and large, you're switching out the hooks. You know, as the fish get bigger, it's a bigger issue. You know, one of the things that some guys do here on this Daiwa jig here, this is the SK. This one probably has one of the better hooks, stock hooks, and I would say you probably would use those right out of the box would be okay. But almost everything else either doesn't come with hooks or they are pretty light duty. But it's always a good idea to carry some. You know, you're gonna buy all these jigs, you're probably gonna want to buy, 4 or 5 packs of these guys here, and different sizes. The Mustad Heavy Duty JSS 2 is probably the one we sell the most. I mean, literally that box is full of them. I mean,
Oh,
we
really?
sell so many of them because it's a good jig. The extra dressing that they have on there, I think people really like as well.
Yeah.
And it's kind of hard to see here real close. Maybe you can see it on the jig. It's got kind of a braided rope line there. So that basically just gives you a little more real estate that the tuna's got to chew through to bite you off. And
And that happens all the time, right?
Well,
So it's
generally
important.
does not happen on this jig here.
Uh-huh.
But if you catch 2 or 3 fish and you start seeing some of the ropes start getting chewed up, you just change it out, So this system here, because it's just tied into just like that, you can change out really, really easily. You don't have to go and get out crimpers or, some complicated tool. Just the split ring tool that we showed earlier or the toy tool that we showed in the other video
Right.
will work just fine. So make sure you keep an eye on your hooks, but those Mustad heavy duty JSS 2s are the ones we sell the most.
Scott has a question. Tied to a Wahoo bomb. I'm assuming he wants to know what you wire it, or do you use fluoro, or what do you use?
So, and I think we talked about that in the Wahoo video
Yes.
quite extensively.
Yeah,
but,
so watch the Wahoo video and put out, Scott, okay?
but yeah, I mean, most of the guys you can use wire. Those catch eat tackle bombs actually are a through jig type of setup, so you got to use wire with those.
Yeah.
Excuse me, but definitely on the other jigs there, the most common thing, and I have been kind of switching to it a little bit more, is using heavy fluoro. 150 pound or 200 pound fluoro to that jig seems to work really good.
Yeah. Are you having second thoughts about this show every Wednesday night now?
We'll see about that every Wednesday night. We'll see.
No.
First Wednesday of the month or something like that.
Every other Wednesday,
Yeah,
maybe.
something
Something
we'll
like
see.
that. I don't know. Yeah, it depends on...
Let's do reruns.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Daniel Leonos is saying hi to Jeff Fuchs and saying good to see you. Travis Bright, Sam, any knife jig shortage binders that fit 500 G
Storage.
jigs? Okay, you got that?
Yeah.
Couldn't find any at the Bart Hall show. Thanks.
The
Storage, sorry.
Yeah, the one that we did in the video, the one from Nomad.
Yeah.
That'll fit this jig. This is a 500 gram. It was a 400 gram, but the 500 gram jig version of these is probably as long as you normally carry, and that thing will carry it. I mean, it's pretty much right to the edge, but it'll carry it no problem. And that's the one from Nomad. You want me to go show it?
Yeah, why not?
Excuse me.
We're not fooling around. I don't even know what you're talking about. I zoned out. I was reading something else. So what are you getting?
Commercial.
Oh, commercial. So remember, the morning briefing comes to you every single morning. And we have had as many as 25,000 views on the morning briefing. Of course, when fishing gets a little hotter, that's when people really tune in. But right now, we're at about 1,000 views, and sometimes many more than that. We thank you so much for watching all of the Friedman Adventure content, and we're working very hard to produce more and more content, but we can't do it without your help and support. And that's why becoming a Patreon member is so very important. For as little as $5 a month, if you become a Patreon member, you will help us to produce more content, and we will make it worth your while. I mean, at our last Patreon event, we had a free lunch. Everybody got free Fred Hall tickets. Some people got more than one. There was some tackle we gave away, and that is only going to grow and increase as we go along. So it really helps us to become a Patreon member. I can't put the QR code up there tonight because I'm not smart enough to know how to do that on a live show. However, I can send you to patreon.com and you can search Friedman Adventures. Become a Patreon member tonight and help Friedman Adventures. Boy, Sam can't find this stuff and I'm running out of air here. And become a Patreon member tonight. Do your part to help us produce more content at Friedman Adventures. Sam?
We'll see.
Oh, you're breaking into something.
Well-
is this something I get to keep too? Oh, I've seen that. I got Scott that for his birthday, didn't I?
Yeah.
Hey, give me that back, you little crook, after all your negative comments.
Let's see here. So this is actually the sleeve of the jig. So you can of the wallet. The wallet is kind of like it implies, it's a wallet. Wow. This guy here. So as you can see here, it's on the limit here for sure. No doubt about it. It's on the limit. It's all the way down there, and the jig is all the way at the top, but it'll still close. So that's a 500 gram rip roller, and like I said, it's right to the max. And I think on the wallet, which is the bigger one, it has a little bit more room. But even on this one here, you know, it'll still close. So that's a 500 gram.
All right, excellent.
Show there.
Travis, great question there. David Jimenez, just got a Trinidad 20. What pound should I spool it with? I can cast braid just fine.
65 pound. Actually, if you're casting braid, probably 80 pound. That's what we had the other show, remember? 80 pound on everything.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, and so I could actually answer the questions. Joe Surwald, hump day on the island. Wednesday night island tackle, that is. Hey, but be sure you put a comment in our comments tonight on whether you'd like this to be a weekly show, a monthly show, or a bi-weekly show, so I can come back to Sam tomorrow and go, look, you got 500 people that want this to keep going. All right, did you go by somebody?
No.
Okay. Sam, I went, Christopher Navarro. Sam, I went on an 8-day Royal Star trip, June trip. He took 21 rigs, and I took 14. Caught fish on all of mine. Sam caught fish on all but one rig.
Yeah.
Is that true?
I don't know about 21, but yeah, me and Chris used to do an 8-day trip on the Royal Star in June, and we took a lot of gear because that trip we did a lot of different stuff. We fished everything from calicos, tuna, yellowtail, rockfish, dorado. I mean, it was truly a variety trip. And
yeah.
We took a lot of gear to just have fun with it.
All right, good stuff. Raul Almaraz just bought a tidal fish rod at the show and wanted to know what reel should I pair it with. Are you just? Oh, I spy a blue cat.
Catfish.
Oh yeah,
up there behind us.
Yes, he's right. Okay, yeah. Very, very observant. By the way, that's Fish Guy spied a blue cat. Raul wants to know. He's got a tidal fish rod. What reel should he pair it with?
Probably something like like the 40-pound, probably like that Avid would be good.
Yeah.
Fathom 25 narrow would be good. Saltis 35. I mean, there's a lot of reels. Something that'll probably hold around 300 to 400 yards of 50-pound or 65-pound.
All right, perfect. Jeff says best show ever, Sam and Phil. This show rocks. Chuck Zimmer. I'll redo my hollow splice from braid to mono on the boat. What knot do you recommend?
For, what was it, from braid to hollow?
Yeah.
Solid to hollow braid?
Redo my hollow splice from braid to mono. What knot do you recommend?
Just Tony Pena. Yeah, Tony Pena on that one.
That's a quick answer.
Yeah,
You're really zipping through these now. Travis Bright.
Tony Pena.
Any fillet knife recommendations? Rockfish to smaller tuna?
You're probably going to use like 6 or 8 inch. Same thing the guys on the boats use. 6 or 8 inch boning knife. Yeah.
Is there a particular brand? Are Forstner's a thing anymore?
So they
were a thing when I was a kid.
Yeah. So it's the same knife now, Victorinox.
Uh-huh.
I don't have any back there right now to show you, but because that area of the store is a little bit hard to get to.
Yeah.
But a boning knife is kind of what they're called, officially. But in that Victorinox, there's Dexter Russell, and then Edge World too. They make a kind of a economy knife that's very, very similar.
All right, here's some quick ones. I'm going to go right through them. Tackle box talk with Sam and Phil, or Phil and Sammy actually said. My name was first. Scott would say Sam, and Scott would just say Sam. Show sponsor, Extra Tough Boots. Hugo Gin, best tackle seminar show. Thank you, Friedman and Sam. Thank you, Hugo. We really appreciate it. What a great idea this was. Extra Tough and Boomer glasses in the background, says Jeff Fuchs. Matt Hill, great show. Bomber, pardon me. Great show, gentlemen. Thank you. What are your thoughts? Will someone catch a bluefin over 400 pounds this year?
Yes. I don't know.
Okay, there's your answer. I'll say yes also. Hugo Jen, el mejor show. Gracias, amigos Felipe y Sam.
De nada.
Muchas gracias, Hugo, a ti por estar con nosotros.
Yeah.
RG, Laurel, and Hardy, Tackle Talk.
Maybe.
Yeah, we need one more guy. If we get Scott here, it's the Three Stooges all the way, man. I'm a Three Stooges. Oh, my God!
That's it.
Oh, we're getting there. Israel de la Cruz. Phil, any update on your guided surf fishing season? I got to work on that, Israel. I got so many balls in the air right now, but I was thinking about it, and I was actually kind of just waiting for things to pick up a little bit more. But yeah, I'll be doing some of that if Sam doesn't force me to do more shows like this on, on a pretty regular basis. But absolutely, we'll see if they bite tomorrow morning. I'm looking forward to that. Jeff, weekly, I'm here. Rocket Dog, weekly. Tim Marquez, weekly. They're talking about when they want to see the show. Israel, they're the close. So let's make this a weekly show. And we're out of questions. And is this a good time to say it's time for you to get back to your family?
Yeah.
Or, hey, there's a pizza. Is it?
No, I don't know.
Oh, it's a win.
Win.
Come on, man. What happened?
You know what? As the season starts going and,
Yeah.
and we start getting some good info and better stuff to talk about, I think maybe a shorter weekly show, it wouldn't be too bad. You know, just you kind of give an update,
Yeah.
of what's going on.
It's ready to bite, though. It's going to get going.
Pretty close here,
Steve
yeah.
Bermuda says twice a month during the off season, live streaming with 5 cameras in the shop for the hot part of the season. Matt Hill says twice a day. He wants
Twice a day.
Yeah. Aaron says weekly. Dan Smith says tackle adventures with Sam. Scott Buchert says every other Wednesday.
Maybe.
Well, Scott always gives the wrong answer,
Yeah,
so that's obviously not right.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, we'll fool around with it. I mean, I've had a great time with you tonight.
Yeah.
And I've had a great time with all of you, and can't thank you enough for joining us. It was great. We were up to around 100 viewers, and this is a show that will easily in the archive be up to 1,000 before you know it. So, Sam, great job. And all the running around. Do we have to put all this stuff away tonight? Or
Yes.
We do?
Yes.
Am I involved in that?
Yes. Every Wednesday, right?
I got to be up at 4 tomorrow morning preparing for the morning briefing while you sleep.
I got the keys to the door, so
I'm screwed.
either you help me do it or you watch me do it.
All right, a couple more. Let's see. Scott Buchert says, thanks, Sam, for the show.
You're welcome, Scott.
What? I'm going to kill him. He doesn't even put my name in there. Scott? I'm not going to say it. I'm going to be kind. All right. Thanks for the show, guys. And info says Fish Guy, Joe Sirwald Weekly. Another guy, great show. Thanks. All right. You get to do a commercial now. Or why don't you, because
This is what I'm going to do.
Yeah. Because I'm going to go
if
and
it's
shut the
okay.
show off. But go
It's
ahead.
okay.
You can do anything you
I
want.
just want to say good night to Diego and Luna.
Absolutely.
Love you guys a lot. My wife, Adriana, thank you for letting me stay out here a little bit extra hours. I'll be home soon, and hopefully I see you before you go to sleep.
And can I say something to them?
Of course.
Please forgive me. Your father has so much knowledge about this that I hate to steal him away from you for a few hours tonight, but thank you from me also and all the people who are watching. I know you want Dad home, so thank you so very, very much. I mean that sincerely. All right, now you get to give your address, phone numbers, and all that
Alrighty.
stuff because we have a very low budget here at Friedman Adventures, so I got to go turn the camera off whenever you're ready.
So we are at 21809 Avalon Boulevard in the city of Carson. And phone number here is 310-707-1205. We're just off the 405 between the 110 and the 710, if you guys aren't familiar with the area. But really easy to get to. Come down anytime, Monday through Saturday, 10 to 6. Thanks, guys. You did it.